Hey guys. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me all right. I'm going to share. Oops, sorry if this is a little bit loud. I am going to share this live stream on our Discord server. That's the words that I was looking for. How are you guys doing? Oh, and I need to get trigger warnings up on screen. That's a very, very important thing. Let me do that before I share, actually. May the 4th be with you. Hi, Chris Tiger Harris. Hi, Audriel. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Derprex. Hey, Cubo. Hey, how are you guys? I saw mention in the comments that it was the incorrect thumbnail. Mine is showing set to the correct thumbnail, so I think we're good on that. But yes, happy May the 4th, guys. Sorry I didn't do like a full-fledged Star Wars themed regular video because, let's be real, I completely forgot. But there is going to be a video going up. It is already uploaded, and I'm going to premiere it after this live stream. So that's something. And obviously we can do Star Wars content all the time. And if you haven't seen the playlists of Star Wars content I've done in the past, yeah, there's that. So I have hiccups. That's very, very annoying. Do not... I don't know why trigger warnings will sometimes just straight up try to kill my whole stream. I don't know why. But here's the thing. Can I have my color source, please? Thank you. Let's see. The color source is just like, you don't get to do that. What are you talking about? You get a color source so that people can read the trigger warnings. How dare you? Hey, Paulo. Staying long, I have a headache and a sleep schedule, but I wanted to drop in to chat. Hey, Adriel, I'm glad. Don't worry about it. Definitely go get sleep. Sleep is important. Definitely, I hope that headache goes away. I'm glad you could drop in and say hi. You were watching Clone Wars episodes earlier. That's cool. We're in the same time zone this week. That's really cool, Patrick. I didn't know that. Aw, Patrick. I didn't know you were right here. Source. Whoa. All right, you know what? We're just going to do a new color source. Because sometimes it just doesn't want to... Whoa, God. Oh, my God. Now there's color. I found the color source. Jeez. I'm being memed by my everything. Goodness. Hi, Milo. I quitted my job. You quit your job? Good for you. Congratulations. I hope that brings you some peace and... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I hope that brings you some peace and mental well-being. I know that job was stressful. No, I'm sorry. I don't even think I've opened my Discord today. I've had a lot going on. But send say thank you for all the lovely things that were sent to the P.O. box. And then we'll get into it. You got a comic series in the works, Toonie. Congratulations. Oh, you hiked down Stone Mountain. I've never actually hiked Stone Mountain. I've heard that that's quite a hike. Yeah, I found out my boss had been... Oh! Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Happened to me. I really can't tolerate working for someone like him. Good for you. I'm proud of you. That's the right thing to do, I think. Ugh, people are just gross, aren't they? People can just be gross sometimes. Human beings are capable of the coolest and brightest innovations and most wonderful kindness. And then there are some people that you're just like, ugh, why? Why have you chosen to do the things that you're doing right now? And that's very unfortunate. Sorry, Patrick. I literally have not looked at my messages all day. It's been a day. Here, let me share in the Discord server that we're live for people to know that we're live. Guys, it's been 3 years on the channel. If you didn't see my posts, we had our 3-year anniversary day before yesterday on the 2nd. And that was amazing. Also, shout out happy birthday to Ellery and to Gabe. Also, guys, a couple hours after I posted about, like, yay, 3 years on the channel, we hit 7,000 subscribers, so that is amazing. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate each and every one of you who is here. And yeah, who would have thought? You know that Paul Rudd meme that's like, look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. It's like that. I did not expect the channel to be where it is now 3 years ago. And it's the end of California Diaries. Can you believe it? We're literally there. Thank you, Paulo. 7K strong. Yes. I can't believe it. Where do I recommend you? It depends on where in Georgia you are. If you're over by Stone Mountain, let me think about where Stone Mountain, what's around Stone Mountain. I live in the city, so I'm better at like, oh, you could go to the High Museum, you could do this, you could do that in the city. But if you're outside of the city, I might need to do a Google search. Marietta. Ooh. I used to live somewhat close to Marietta. I think. It's over there. I'm such a homebody. When I lived over there, we barely ever did anything. There are, like, in that general area, there are some very pretty, like, walking trails. Like, Marietta is more developed, but, like, around the outskirts, there are some really great hiking trails if I'm remembering correctly. Social house oysters. Ooh, I've never even been there. I think you've done more than I ever did, Patrick. So real quick, that was a scratchy scratch on the bike. I'm sorry about that. Guys, we're here. We're at the last California Diaries. We'll be able to say that we have covered every single one. All 15. We did it. I cannot believe it. Shout out to Daniel. Daniel is the whole driving force between me even having these to cover. I barely knew about them before chat told me, and then Daniel ended up sending me the majority of them. I saw from you one of the Goosebumps breakdowns. Believe it was the Haunted Mask that you introduced me to. Jonathan Frakes, good memories. Well, thank you for being here. Those are Those are some of my favorite videos that I've made. I love doing Goosebumps. I love doing Beyond Belief. I need to do more of both of those series. W. Daniel. Yes. Hi, Rachel. Yes. Daniel is the reason that we've all experienced this together. And so thank you, Daniel. Sure you go down on the side where your car is so you don't spend 30 minutes walking 3 miles. Oh, yeah. That similar thing can happen at Arabia Mountain again. I don't know if Arabia Mountain is close to where you are. Arabia Mountain is beautiful. We filmed some of Marley's Angels there. But it is a big, big, big park. There's some old like ruins of like old homes that are just like stone. They're really cool. But there's like multiple parking spots, and you got to make sure that you're going to when you're walking that you do the full loop back to yours, and so you don't end up on like the other side of the mountain. But Beyond Belief is on Prime now. I believe it's been there for at least a couple of months. It wasn't when I started covering 3 years ago. But they are still, the whole time that I've been covering episodes, they have been able to be found pretty easily on YouTube. They're more easy to find now, I think, because they're having their little renaissance. Rex, were you the one that sent me the original cut-up clips of Is This Story Based that I then used to make that one meme that I posted, because that gave me immense joy to make? To the Goosebumps episode where that kid goes to summer camp and then bad stuff happens and then it turns out he's a government. Oh, yeah, that's... we read that book. We read that book one time on live stream. We haven't covered the episode. Welcome to Camp Nightmare. Yes, I need to cover Welcome to Camp Nightmare. Oh, that was you, Paolo. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know somebody posted it in the Discord server, and I was like, that's where I was like, I got to use that. And then 3 weeks later, I made that meme because my brain does things. My brain works in mysterious ways. But yeah, you can definitely get, not sponsored by Amazon Prime, but you can definitely watch Beyond Belief and actually a couple other things that we cover here. I need to cover more Monk episodes. Monk is on Amazon Prime. That's where I usually have been watching it lately. But before we read California Diaries, I want to thank everybody for the books that are sent in. And before I thank everybody for the books that are sent in, this was not sent in to me. This is a book that I've had for a little while, and I actually need to... It was on the pile of books that I need to repair. Like my book binding, I need to repair these books pile. But I grabbed it as I was walking in here because I figured we should do something for May the 4th. It is this comic book children's story called Vader's Little Princess. And everything about this is just delightful. Yeah, as you can see, it's very loved. I have some PVA glue. I'm going to try to fix it. But yeah, I figured we could flip through this. Yes, it is Star Wars Day. I have been reminded that tomorrow is Revenge of the 5th, so tomorrow is also kind of Star Wars Day. Before we get into all of this... Oh, you posted the Christian Spider-Man, the one from Scamilton Church? I believe I saw clips of that when I was doing research for the Scamilton video, and I never got around to actually covering it. Excuse me. Fortnite Pokemon Fan 101. Haven't seen you in a while. I do very much remember you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you are here with us. Glad that you can hang out. With great power comes great responsibility. Real quick before we do the light reading, before we read the... probably going to be very emotional end to the very emotional California Diaries series. Let me say thank you to specifically this week Patrick and Ellery, who have sent books this week. I went to the P.O. box and I got a whole bunch of books that I'm really excited about. There's a few, so I wanted to make sure. So first off, Patrick sent some Babysitter's Club universe. Dawn and the Halloween Mystery. Mystery 17. We know I love a good Halloween mystery. Make sure it's in frame. So we got this one. Super cool. We also got Babysitter's Club 7, Claudia and Mean Janine. And then we got some Babysitter's Little Sister, Karen's Leprechaun, which looks delightful, and Karen's Newspaper, which also looks delightful. So I'll be adding those to the Ann M. Martin designated shelves in my bookcase. Also by Ann M. Martin. I don't think this technically counts as a Babysitter's Extended Universe, but I kind of include all of Ann M. Martin's books as extended Babysitter's Club universe at this point. We have Ann M. Martin's On Christmas Eve, which looks delightful. We'll have to read this either at Christmas time or maybe for a Christmas in July type of thingy, because this just looks wonderful. We also have, also from Patrick, Girl Scout Mystery, which looks so fun. I did not know this existed. And as I get ready to do a big video on Girl Scout related content, it's perfect timing. So thank you, Patrick. We also have Charmed Life 1 and 2, a book series for girls that I did not know existed. Let me know if you've read them as a child. We have a couple of Archie comics. We have a Betty and Veronica double digest, and we have Archie's Pals and Gals double digest. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Space, which looks very fun. So that is amazing. And then finally from Patrick, we have books 13 through 16 in a big collection of the Cheetah Girls to continue Milo's legacy of supplying us with Cheetah Girls books. So thank you guys for that. Thank you, Patrick, for this. 3 brand new Cheetalicious stories inside. This has 4 stories, which at the time of publishing, 3 of them were brand new. So, and these 2 did not even have covers logged on their Goodreads pages. They had very abandoned Goodreads pages, so I was able to go in there and fix that today. So thank you, Patrick, for bringing our attention to that. Hi, Natty. Exam season. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to be a girl guide so bad when I was little. I used to love Archie comics. I'd buy Betty and Veronica and Pals and Gals whenever I had money. I had Archie and Betty and Veronica comics too. I asked my mom, I was like, where? Because I know we wouldn't have gotten rid of them, but I haven't seen them in years. I know they've got to be just in a box in the attic somewhere, but I'll have to find them because I had quite a couple that were loved. I finished unofficially yesterday, so I'm happy. Congratulations, Rachel. Good luck, Natty. Exam season is such a stressful thing unnecessarily, isn't it? Hi, Boots. Good to see you. And then also, shout out to Ellery, our lovely mod, who I don't think is here right now. But Ellery, if you're watching this back, we appreciate you. You are the man. We have Dial-A-Ghost, which looks lovely. I'm very excited for this. This looks like it is exactly up my alley, and it was published the year I was born, 1996, so that's lovely. We have Deep Wizardry, Book 2 in the So You Want to Be a Wizard series. I believe these were published in the 80s. We're planning on starting the first in the series on Saturday with Gabe, because Gabe will be back starting Saturday. I'm very, very excited for these books. They look absolutely wonderful, and I've heard a lot of really good things about these books. And then pivoting to something I've heard very poor things about, but that just makes me more excited about it. My Immortal in physical form we now have. So, Gabe, if you happen to be watching this, I'm so sorry, but I think we're going to have to read this one together. If Gabe really doesn't want to, I'll do it by myself, but oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Dale Show feels completely separate from Archie Comics. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hi, Owl. Only really. It is very different. It is a very different vibe from the Archie Comics. It is a parallel universe in my mind. So thank you for this. Thank you for these. I appreciate all of you. These are just some of the books that we have to look forward to covering in the near future, hopefully. We know I love a good read stream, so... Oh, Jughead was a totally different character. Just very different. I kind of liked at first what they had done with Jughead, but then he just became typical, like, sad emo boy and nothing really original happened, and then I kind of lost interest. Oh my god, this is so cute. I definitely need to fix this book, but let's very quickly... Hi, Ellery! I was literally just saying, I got your books. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for them, all of them, for different reasons. Dialogos and Deep Wizardry are going to be amazing, and My Immortal is just going to be so fun. So thank you for that. And happy birthday. I know your birthday was Tuesday, like Gabe's birthday, right? But before we read the emotional book, let's read... Ace Jughead for the win. Let's read Vader's Little Princess, which should just be a quick little picture book read. I thought it would be very cute. Look at the illustrations in this book, guys. It is just... This is by Jeffrey Brown, by the way. You are not going out dressed like that. And she's in her Jabba the Hutt infamous outfit. I'm weird, I'm a weirdo speech, because he's all like, have you ever seen me without this hat before? That's weird. It's like, bro, you could take the hat off. Right? Like, you could make it so that the hat has some kind of, like, emotional value to him, but they didn't do that. They were like, yeah, he just wears the hat. He doesn't like it, but he does. It's just like, okay. Vader's Little Princess by Jeffrey Brown. I love the Wookiee. Teddy bear. This is so cute. Oh boy. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, episode 3 3/4, Vader's Little Princess. Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, continues to rule the Galactic Empire and is out to destroy the heroic Rebel Alliance. Meanwhile, he must raise his young daughter, Leia, as she grows from a sweet little girl into her rebellious teenager. From now on, do as I tell you, okay? Look at this. Guys, this is so cute. I want to adopt a Wookiee too, Chris. Luke apparently is still, maybe this is Luke. I have no idea. I don't know why it's not Luke and Leia. But don't splash my cape. They're in a little, like, kiddie pool. Maybe Luke is just still living on, Taboo? I'm apparently a fake fan. I can't remember the names of all the different planets. They get mixed up in my head. You have failed me for the last time, Admiral. Now you will. Hi, Daddy. And he's just like, shit, I was trying to be intimidating. And she's brushing her teeth, and he says, make sure you get the backs. Tatooine. There you go. My brain knew that was wrong, but I knew that I was close. Thank you. You are free to use any means necessary, but I want them alive. No disintegrations. Yeah, here's Luke. I guess he does have Luke with him. Luke, Leia, it's bedtime. Stop, children. You need to go to sleep. Yippee! Dad, don't move. Look, there's a butterfly. There's a butterfly on Darth Vader's head. Happy Carrie Francis Fisher Day. Yes. He's with Uncle Owen. Apparently he's here. So in the book, it implies that it's just Leia, but apparently he's got both of them because they're here. I doubt that we have to have canon accuracy with this. She's hiding his keys with R2-D2, and he says, I want every squad available to search the ship until my keys are found. And the stormtroopers are just like, all right. Dad, I'm making you a cozy. Isn't it great? Just tell her you like it, he's thinking. Aww. Maybe Luke is more of a mama's boy and he hangs with Padme all day. Yes, because if we can retcon this much, I refuse to believe that Padme, the badass queen that she was, died of sadness in this universe. Or just sitting with him at the council table. What? The illustrations are very, very cute. Just drop me at the corner. It's okay. I can take you right to the front door. I'm so embarrassed. She's going to school with all the other little space children. No, she's still alive. She's just hiding. In your anger, you killed her, Ember Bias. Yes. Yeah, I never wanted to believe that she is dead either. I was always like, no. After everything that woman has been through. Looking at a little photo of her looking at the security cam. Pew pew. You may dispense with the pleasantries, Your Highness. I'm here to tell you to pull your pants up. But, Dad, it's the style. My god, did this poor book go through an actual, like, clone war before I got it? Okay, good. Now ease up on the clutch. He's teaching her to drive. If Anakin didn't go to the dark side, would he be an okay dad? There's a lot to unpack to answer that question. Tentatively, I think it's possible, but I don't know. He's got a lot of, like, emotional issues. Yeah, he's immature and whiny. Yeah. Isn't this cute, Rachel? I've had this forever. I know I need to fix the binding of it. I actually had it on a pile of books that I needed to fix, but I pulled this pulled this out and took it in here with me just because I figured we should have a quick palate cleanser of happiness before we read the last California Diaries and probably are all sad. Her resistance to getting out of bed is considerable. It will take some time before we can wake her. Oh my god, look at the posters on the wall. Look at the laundry, look at the flip phone. This is very accurate. The magazines down here. Leia, did you eat all of the chocolate ice cream? Tell me the truth. Dad, I have to write an essay for class, so what exactly is it that you do? It's like, ah, shit. The stormtrooper's like, Several transmissions were beamed to this ship. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent. You are part of the Rebel Alliance. Whatever. I think potentially if he and Padme had children like 10 years into their marriage, they could have been good parents, but Anakin would never have been a good dad to the twins because he was just so like, yeah, I think you're right. He would have to go through a lot of therapy, you know? So we meet at last. It's Han. Behave yourself or my dad will totally kill you. I love the idea of Vader having to meet Han as like an overprotective father. I don't care what you think. These are my friends. I think it's telemarketers calling. Leave them to me. I will deal with them myself. I like the evolution of Leia's, like, early 2000s to mid 2000s cell phones. I am most displeased with your lack of progress. The dishes are very dirty. Version of Leia definitely lounges around reading Sylvia Plath and using double. Oh, absolutely. Flip phones are very funny. I miss them. Same. And yes, he is not Anakin is not real, so I feel comfortable saying that he needs therapy. I feel comfortable making an assumption on his mental health because he's not a real person. So Han, Leia says you are a star pilot? Yes, sir. You know I was a pilot myself when I was your age. Oh, really? Mr. Vader, where are we? Oh, this is my carbon freezing chamber. Delightful. This is delightful. Dad will know how to retrieve it. And then Luke says, are you kidding? We can't tell Dad. And it's sinking. Yeah, so I guess in this reality, Luke is a mama's boy who stays with their mom most of the time, but then is like sometimes with the dad, with his dad and with his sister on the weekends. Imagine Leia's goth phase. Oh my god, it would be amazing. I would love to see somebody cosplay goth Leia. Darth Vader dad dancing. And she says, Dad, please stop. Dad, Leia's been in the bathroom for like an hour. I trust you will be back by 10 o'clock sharp. Sure, Mr. Vader. Painting her toenails. Dad, it'll be fine if we're a little late. The Emperor does not share your optimistic appraisal of the situation. Don't you think it's time that you started separating this out into recycling and compost? Ooh, look at Sebulba's stats this season. Boring. Pod racing. Here's the one from the back. You're not going out dressed like that. I think that's pretty funny. Please, Dad, please. No, you cannot borrow my Imperial shuttle. Last time you brought it back all dented. I think it's funny how this is like very like relatable, like angsty teenage stuff set in this like what if Darth Vader was a single father situation. Now that's what I call pod racing. Sith Leia cosplay last year. I have a friend that did Dark Side Leia cosplay a couple of years ago, and it was glorious. Let's see. If only you knew the power of the dark side. I know, Dad, you've only mentioned it like 200 times. Also, there's more to life than power, you know. Leia, did you finish your homework? And then I was like, blah, 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 blah. And then, I know, totally, blah, blah, blah. She's, in case you can't see, I don't know if you can, I hope you can see this well. She's using the R2-D2, you know, projection, thingy. I'm very bad with the Star Wars lingo, as you can tell, to talk to her friends. I think this is delightful. And then I said, I love you. And all he said back was, I know. I know. What does that mean? Oh, well, that he knows you love him? And now, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of your hidden laundry basket. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Wait, doesn't your dad give you an allowance? What is this for, anyway? I've got a bad feeling about this. Poor Obi-Wan somehow would still be the begrudging, rational uncle. What about Lando Calrissian? He seems nice. What? Dad, I'm dating Han Solo. What are you thinking? Han Solo? I thought you broke up. Didn't you break up? I'm confused. People thought it was very suave. I was a kid. I hated the exchange and thought Han was so rude. I was really surprised that a lot of people thought it was suave and romantic. So here's the thing. I love Han and Leia. I appreciate that exchange now more as an adult, just because I understand that, like, Han actually means that he loves her and she knows that, but it's kind of like their weird way of pretending that they hate each other. It's like an enemies to lovers thing, obviously, but, like, yeah. So because of those things, I appreciate it. But yes, when I was a kid, I also did hate it. I very much see where you're coming from. Yeah, as an adult, I get it, but it was like a little kid, I hated it. Yeah. I know that that's what you're saying. And then I was like, I felt bad because I felt like I didn't want to explain to you what you were already saying. But yes, I agree with you. It's a long-winded way of saying I very much agree. Slam. It's just a phase. It's just a phase. This concert, you want to go to Max Rebo. What kind of music is that even? It's good, Dad. You'd like it. With Luke and Leia. Ew, you're going to eat that? That's so bad for your cholesterol, you know? And you should really work on your weight. Okay, Leia, teenage Leia, calm down. Anyway, when my dad gets here, you are going to be in so much trouble. He did kidnap her, so, you know. Where are you going? Study with some friends. Is that lipstick? I hate you. Yes, I use your hate. Leia, Luke, this is your Kowakian monkey lizard. You promised you would walk him. I hope you guys find this as delightful as I do. I needed a serotonin boost before the last California Diaries. He's not here right now. Do you want to leave a message? I have been expecting word from the Emperor. Any messages? No. You are so mean. All he did was kiss me. Hey! You better both be wearing your helmets. Grounded? You can't ground me. Perhaps you think you are being treated unfairly. It would be unfortunate if I had to leave a garrison outside of your room. Bye, Dad. See you after school. Are those her pajama bottoms? Yes, Admiral, what is it? Your daughter commands you to make contact with her. Move the ship out of the asteroid field so that we can send a clear transmission. Dad, did you see my new profile picture? And tarot cards Invader being like, this is stupid and made up, and Leia is like, okay, Dad, you believe in the Force. This book is more enjoyable than any of the Star Wars movies. No offense to Star Wars fans. That's what it's called in universe? How did I never know that? Leia being sad because Han dumped her, so Veda brings in C-3PO in a tuxedo. Bouquet of roses to take her out. So cute! Leia as the Cookie Monster pajama pants girl is something I never considered, but I'm very delighted by. Right? It really does. It does fit. I love Leia being the girl that goes to school in pajama bottoms. Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. Happy birthday. Oh, so cute. This is our most desperate hour. I don't have anything to wear. I like all of her canon outfits are in the closet. That's just such a nice touch. With all the shoes and everything. You blew up my what? Sorry, Daddy. They blew up the Death Star. This is a nice ballet, isn't it, Dad? He's so bored. Shh, shh. Dad? Dad, are you asleep? Huh. What? No. What? Fucking Jar Jar. And then it's her kissing Han, and he's just like, no. You were right about me. Tell your sister you were right. Leia's standing right there, Dad. Nothing is wrong. I just looks to Vader. I don't know. Are you sure you want to go to Coruscant University? There's lots of other good schools. The Imperial Academy is very affordable. Oh, hug. So cute. This was so cute. Thank you for that, Jeffrey Brown, wherever you are. Anyway. Leia being like, Dad, you should go to the doctor for your asthma. I'm getting concerned, right? One of my friends in school was pajamas pants girl. It was very good to be friends with that girl because she's always the toughest bitch in school. The pajama pants girl doesn't give a damn, and I always respect that of pajama pants girls. All right. Let's, now that it is 9 o'clock at night, get into our actual book at hand. Oh, and also, because it's the 4th, I also have my, did I say Wookiee before? Ewok. I just realized. I think I called the Ewoks Wookiees. Sorry about that. That is not what they are. I have my Chewbacca mug on the note of Wookiees. I'm drinking black tea with too much sugar. Also just known as, like, the southern way to drink any tea. That's my go-to. My favorite is, like, an English breakfast or just, like, plain black tea and a lot of sugar. We're just the Wookiees' children. They look very similar, right? In my mind, they're very similar, but I don't think they're the same. Before anybody comes into my comments and it's just like, you're a fake fan? This is what happens when girls come into the fandom. I'm just like, calm down. I know what they are. It's just, you know, this is what happens with live streams. So yeah, let's very quickly, I'm going to, actually, let me log that I read that book. Before, and then log that we're reading. There's also, by the same illustrator, Darth Vader and Son. I love this so much. Whoops. Five stars, absolutely beautiful. All right, and now let's log that we are finally reading the final California Diaries. All right. Is it going to bother me that because it's a children's book, the shape of the book cover looks different and shrunken compared to the other books that we've read? Yes. Does it matter? No, it does not. But that's my ADHD, or that's my OCD for you. I don't watch any of the new stuff. I haven't read any of the expanded universe books. I did watch the Ewok movies, though. I did videos on both of the Ewok movies, and they were sure something. Sure were. The second one makes less sense than the first one, but is a more enjoyable movie, if that makes any sense. You know, you've written a lot of things as a writer when you have to just have credited the whole series is at the bottom and then like all the miscellaneous ones up here. All right. Without any further ado, here we go. For the last time on this channel, we are starting a brand new California Diaries that we have not read before. Read Darth Vader and Son, then turn it into a sitcom. I should look for it. If I find it anywhere, I will absolutely read it. Oh, that's how you found my channel. That's good to know. Thank you. I always appreciate to know how people found the channel. Yes, there are 2 Ewok movies, Rachel. They are very 80s. If you want like a time capsule of like 1980s content, it's that. They're not nearly as bad as the holiday special, though. August 15th. Work, work, work. Or the true story of Ducky. You're complaining about work. Work is good. Work is not being at home, counting the half-full, half-empty cereal boxes that line the counters on our kitchen. Cereal boxes are a big decorating item in your house since Ted has suddenly decided to eat most of his meals at the college cafeteria. This is so he doesn't have to wash dishes. Lately, Ted seems to feel overextended when he has to rinse out a cereal bowl and load it into the dishwasher. You believe, almost, that if you had a dog, Ted would put all plates and utensils down for the dog to lick clean. Then, no, you malign him, Ducky. He wouldn't really put them back on the shelf. He'd just stack them in the sink. But enough about Ted. Enough about life on the take-out menu. Let's talk about you. Me. Work. Work is being in charge. Okay, so you're not in charge of the bookstore exactly, but Mr. W is out at the moment and only you and Sunny are here. Process of elimination, boss gone. Person or persons in charge, Sunny, boss's daughter, and or Ducky. No, let's call you Christopher for the mo. Sounds more boss-like. I really struggle to read his handwriting. This is going to be a thing. I love you very much, Ducky. You're my son, but still. Oh yeah, there's whole scenes where the Ewoks just talk to each other in, you know, not English, and there's no subtitles, so you're just left to kind of guess. Same thing happens in the Star Wars Holiday Special. Christopher, boss's daughter's best friend. Are you Christopher, Ducky McRae, the BF of Sunny Winslow? Too much. You don't need the pressure of figuring it out. Why define something that doesn't need defining? Why overanalyze everything? Okay, the boss's daughter is your very good, close personal friend. You feel comfortable with that. Right now, Sunny is organizing the impulse purchases around the cash register. All the little cute, not too high ticket items that you can point out to customers as you ring up their purchases. Or, if they are truly good customers, they pick them up themselves and say, "This is so cute," and toss them in with the other books, aka me. You can thank my ADHD for me being that shopper, 100%. You do not think little tiny books are cute. You have true confessions, never used a bookmark in your life. Seasonally themed pens, the kind with Dracula painted on them or whatever, are not a fashion statement in your opinion, but hey, whatever. Sunny looks up, sees you looking, and smiles. She knows how you feel about the impulse items. She herself likes them. A strong woman with a mind of her own. Incoming customer. D. May I help you? Incoming customer. No thanks. Ducky. Well, let me know if I can. Incoming customer. Right. Sunny passes you with a big box. She puts it down next to the front display window and opens it. She peers in. You peer in. You get a shock. It is full of Barbie dolls. Sunny, you say, we have to talk. Ignoring you, she says, there's a bucket of sand by the back door. Would you get that for me? You obey. When you return, Sunny is emptying all the bestsellers from the window. You return them to the shelves, refraining from asking questions. By now, you have cleverly deduced that Sunny has plans for these dolls, plans involving the window display. You spend a pleasant half hour or so pulling books that involve beaches, oceans, and summer activities from the shelves. These include a horror book set at the beach, Moby Dick, several guides to shells, a book about beach vacations, and Treasure Island, personal childhood favorite. You've decided to insist it be included even if Sunny objects, but she doesn't. Instead, she suggests that you get some petty cash and buy a bottle of suntan lotion and some not too uncool but cheap sunglasses to go with the display. You return to find Sunny arranging the books on a couple of beach towels that she has also brought along. You remind her that she'll be in trouble if she gets sand in the book's bindings, or at least if they were library books she would be. She makes a face. You make a face back. You know from humiliating childhood experience leading to lifelong fear of the species Librariamus horribilis. Also lions, tigers, bears, Cro-Mags. You will not think about those jerks, those hall jockeys, those losers would somehow manage to make your life miserable. School is out for the summer. You have no fear. No fear. Ducky fears no Cro-Mag, nor Neanderthal either. Neither? Question mark? Movie advertisement. Ducky is John Wayne, and the Duke fears no man. But did John the Duke Wayne fear women? Did he? Another customer. Moments later. Another customer who politely declines your offer of assistance. You try not to feel rejected. Okay, just kidding. Customer rejection happens not to be a problem for... What is Sunny making those faces for? Why is she pointing at that customer? Yeah, the baggy clothes are a bit fashion over, but... A John Wayne moment. You look up, see the guy slide a very large art book into the inner pocket of his coat. You blink. Not a Duke blink. A duck blink. You do not believe your eyes. The guy starts to walk oh so casually to the door. Sunny slides in front. Did you find everything you needed? She asks. Her eyes are sending you signals. Dial 911? No. Call the police? The regular way? No. No, says the shoplifter. He steps to one side. Sunny steps to the same side. He steps to the other side. Sunny steps to the other side. A shoplifter dance. You recover your dim wits and race, casually sweating, dry-mouthed, to join the party. Hey, you say. Hey. The Duke, wherever he is not impressed. I think you might have forgotten to pay for something. The guy now that you notice is big, as in much taller than you. He's also armed with a large, heavy art book. You brace yourself for the possible direct delivery of art appreciation to your skull. You smile. Sunny opens her mouth. You glance at her and beam the following universal signal to her. Be prepared for anything. Does she understand? She frowns slightly, closes her mouth. Her look says, your turn. What? Says the guy. What are you talking about? It's pretty convincing. You are amazed at how convincing he is. You want to believe him. And then he does the most amazingly guilty thing in the world. He puts his hand over the inside pocket where the book is stashed, or books at the moment. You don't know how many he's got kangarooed away in hidden pouches. You look at his hand. You look up at him. You fold your arms and raise your eyebrow. You admit, here only, that you've practiced this look on occasion, privately, but you've never, ever said Bond, James Bond, while doing it, ever. You stare at Mr. Pocketbook. He stares at you. It gets way too quiet. A little pulse is jumping at one corner of his mouth. He needs a shave, but not much. His face is mostly fuzzy, and you realize that he is younger than you thought he was. Then, Sunny says, it happens more than you think. Book people are so absent-minded, and they leave things here all the time, too. Car keys, gloves. We have quite a lost and found collection. Anyway, if you'll step to the register, I'll be glad to ring up your choices for you. Pocketbook looks at you. You drop the eyebrow and give him an encouraging nod. Right, he says. You step aside and motion toward the register. Sunny stays beside him, and you step into guard the rear as she moves around to ring up his purchases. Jesus. Check? He croaks. Is a check okay? Cash, Sunny says smoothly. We prefer cash. Like she's going to take a check from him, like he's gonna use his real checkbook. Okay, so maybe he would. Who knows? He fumbles out a wallet and the art book. You have an inspired moment to say, you might want to make sure you haven't forgotten any other books you were interested in buying. He jumps. His hand goes to the other side of his coat. You hope this guy doesn't make a living doing this, apart from the illegality thing. The ripping people off who are trying to make a living themselves thing, he's gonna starve. He's really bad at his job. He ends up paying for 3 paperbacks, but not the art book. Not enough of the folding green stuff. And Sunny tells him with deeply insincere regret that the credit card machine is not working, just in case his credit cards are faux. Smooth Sunny. The shoplifter bolts with his purchases. You and Sunny face each other. Cut to Sunny. You were cool, Ducky. I mean, I was totally freaked, and there you were. Ducky. Hey, there's that word again. If you hadn't stepped in front of him, he would have been so gone. Sunny. Yeah, but after I did that, I didn't know what to do. Ducky. That line about book people being absent-minded? Brilliant. Sunny, modestly. Thank you, my hero. Ducky, my hero. Sunny laughs. You laugh. We're a good team, Sunny says. Yeah, you say. We are. Hi, Daniel. They are. They're like cute kids' fantasy movies. As far going back to the Ewok movies. Welcome back, Patrick. Very dreamlike. Yeah, they were very surreal. Yes, we're going to read Welcome Home, Mary, and sometime next week, I think. So what happened? So the only thing where we kind of are... I read a cute little Darth Vader Princess Leia comic book, picture book. just so that we'd have like a palate cleanser before the potentially sad last book. But all that's happened in this book so far is that Ducky and Sunny are working the bookstore without her dad, and somebody tried to shoplift, and so the two of them working together managed to stop that from happening. Dude, it's just a book. Just let him take it. I mean, I was concerned for one of their safeties, but also I totally get it, like, on principle. Like, they're a small bookstore. Like Walmart, they just budget for, like, we think this many thousands of dollars are going to get stolen in merchandise every day, and we're just, like, prepared for that. We don't care. But, like, this is, like, a kind of mom-and-pop shop, so I can see them just on principle being like, no. Good for them. It is... Yeah, it costs less than workers' comp if they get hurt trying to chase a thief. True, and they are children, so that is a very important thing to be thinking about. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, they've just gone through all that they've gone through with like her mom's medical bills. Like they probably are not in a great place financially right now. Ducky woke up from his... Can you imagine, Daniel? We'd all be so pissed. August 16th. Okay, you're a 16-year-old boy and you like to go shopping. You just spent the day shopping with a girl who is 13. But not just any girl. Sunny. Does this make you strange? Answer. No, you are already strange. Besides, who cares? It's not like anyone saw you, and even if they did, why do you care? And besides, again, even if they, whoever they are, saw you, they'd just think you were hanging out with a cute girl. Anyway, it wasn't your idea to go shopping. Sunny and you were hanging out by the mall, and it just happened. One minute you were watching the little kids throw pennies in the fountain, standing, of course, right next to the sign that said, "Please don't throw pennies in the fountain." The next minute, you found yourself giving FaceTime to window displays, nodding when Sunny said, "Please, the colors are unnatural in a bad way." Remarking on, for example, your need someday for something in cashmere, I wouldn't have to wear it, you say. You just kept it around. You just keep it around and pet it. A cashmere pet, soft color, coordinated, house trained. Sunny is laughing. And then wham, bam, you're in a store. Actually, you go willingly into your favorite try on and spend emporium. Lots of retro stuff. Sunny has a sunglasses vision. That's what she calls it, and you end up with a pair of either extremely geeky or over-the-edge cool old sunglasses that she insists you wear even though you are indoors. It's a very bright mall, she says. Tell me, before I walk into, say, a display or a store window, you reply, you drift into a wig place. You're a little creeped out by it, all those loose scalps on all those severed heads, but Sunny dives right in, trying on wigs like they're hats. A black share number with bangs, not Sunny's best look, not yours either, even with the dark glasses. The wig consultant has been offering advice to another client. She makes the sale, the client bags the hair, and then the consultant turns to you and Sunny. Sunny is now in a little Orphan Annie number. Red curls going sproing. The consultant gives her a mouthful of smile. May I help you, she says. Unspoken words, like out of my store, now? No thanks. Sunny picks up a mirror to get a better peek at the back of her head. Orphan Annie isn't your style, you say, and want to bite off your tongue. Since it has been, only a few minutes since Mrs. Winslow died? Half an orphan might be, Sunny says without missing a beat. Her eyes meet yours in the mirror. They have a funny expression. Challenging? Expectant? You answer with a disgusted face. You never know what Sunny's going to say. It's one of the things you like about her. You also like that you can let her know when you think she's pushing tood on you. The look vanishes from Sunny's eyes. She smiles. Megawatt. indecipherable, like you've passed a test. She says, "Don't wig out on me, Ducky." The consultant's teeth disappear into a thin-lipped, been there, heard that grimace. You ponder the meaning of Sunny's look, her smile. You ponder the idea that selling wigs is sort of like selling shoes, only at the other end. Sunny removes the red fright curls. She stares at herself for a second in the mirror, smooths her own much better looking hair, and says, "Do you think I'm pretty, Ducky?" This you didn't expect. You say, "Pretty?" in a cowardly, stalling for time sort of way. You look at the wig, you look at Sunny. You realize she is pretty, without a doubt. As in, not ugly, says Sunny. "Are you in trouble?" Could be. Trying to keep it light, you say, "Without the wig, you are beautiful." Sunny looks pleased, and you try not to look relieved when she laughs. You laugh too. Inside, you're going, phew. What if Sunny had asked you that? Sorry to be sexist, but so far you've never heard a guy ask this. Girl question. Do I look fat? No right answer to that one. And what does it mean anyway? Fat compared to what? Fat how? Fat-headed? If you're a Cro-Mag? Define fat. Fat in which places? Fat according to what culture? Sunny flutters her eyelashes at you, gives the rest of the wigs a quick look, then says thanks to the consultant. We wander out of the wig store and loiter/saunter around the mall. Sunny catches your hand and swings it gleefully. "Isn't this fun?" she says. "It is," you say back. "Next time you go out to play, you get to choose the game." Mall hunt is a pretty good one. Quality time, Sunny agrees. "You know, Ducky, you are so not like other guys." Is that a good thing? A bad thing? It's not a thing you didn't know already, thanks to the Cro-Mags. You wonder if this is Sunny's way of saying you're weird, Ducky, but it's okay. You say, "Yeah, but I am pretty. But am I pretty?" That sets Sunny off. She is still snorting with laughter as you pass the food court. You are wondering if you are, well, ugly. You meant to be funny. But did Sunny have to laugh quite so hard? You nod absently as Sunny finally stops laughing, sniffs, and pronounces the odor. "Mystery meat. We'd have to give Dawn artificial resuscitation," she remarks. "It's pretty rank," you say. "A smell like that makes you understand Dawn's eco-vegetarian ways." No, we never understand Dawn. "True," Sunny agrees. You remember Dawn is in Connecticut for the first summer with her mom and dad. For the summer with her mom and stepfather, etc. You ponder the fact that Dawn goes back and forth between two sets of parents, while your parents just go away to places like Greece, Crete, to be specific. Why Crete? Why not Crete? It's far away. Your parents seem to like that. A toy store display catches Sunny's eye. "Look," she says, "Noah's Ark, all the animals 2x2 going up into the boat." You squint through the dark glasses. "Like everyone we know," says Sunny. 2x2. On cruises, you say? She ignores your lame humor. Amalia and Brendan, who've been together much since Brendan got back from camp. Tyler, Maggie says she's not her boyfriend. You begin. Maggie's just talking. They are girlfriend-boyfriend. Look at how they're acting. Togetherness. Plus, while Tyler's in town between movies. "I guess," you say, "I haven't seen that much of them. 'Cause they're seeing so much of each other," Sunny says triumphantly. "I'm glad for Maggie and for Tyler." "Yeah, me too." Sunny sits on a bench, pats the seat beside her. "Ah, nature," you say, pushing aside the fronds of the tree above. The bench. It's one of those mall trees that need no light. Originally from the jungle, Question mark. What we need here are some artificial pigeons to feed, you remark. You turn to see Sunny staring at you. That look again. Is something going on in Sunny's life that she's not telling you? Should you ask? Sunny, you say? She blinks. Sorry, spacing. She smiles at you. You smile at her. The tree rustles in who knows what. The mall breeze? The fumes from the food court? A real mall moment. I did get the Archie comics. I just had them. Archie comics. We'll have to do an Archie night. I have more of them that I own from childhood, but I don't know where they are. They're surely somewhere. I announced the stream on Discord. Oh, did I not tag everybody? Maybe that's the thing. I might have forgotten to tag everybody. Right? That's what I was thinking too. It's so unsanitary. You don't know who else has tried on that wig. Alrighty. August 20th, Friday. Friends, a not for television story. Ring ring, Ducky picks up the phone. Mother of Ducky. Christopher, darling, how are you? Ducky, fine, cooking dinner. Mother of Ducky. His O's and his D's look so similar to my eyes. It's so hard for my brain to decipher. Mother of Ducky, how nice. Cooking? Dinner? Ducky, yes, how are you? How's Crete? Mother of Ducky, I guess it's dinner time, isn't it? Ducky, here, what time is it there? Mother of Ducky, your father says hello, do you want to talk to him? Ducky, tell him hello, I'm making fruit salad so we don't get scurvy. Mother of Ducky, oh, is Ted there? Ducky, hold on. Ted? World traveling parents do that. They call and ask questions, and you answer, and you have a conversation in which you talk about one thing, and they talk about another. Maybe it's the difference in time zones. Maybe as long as they hear the voices of their sons, they figure everything is okay. It's okay if you like having a Ted-sized family. You might say you still have issues with them for not being here, especially for the basic family moments. Christmas, for example. But you don't really have issues, do you, Ducky? Hardly at all. You like your freedom. You are learning important life skills. House cleaning, ordering, takeout, cooking. You wonder if you'll be a chef. You've learned to cook in self-defense. Sad. You cook because a man, even John the Duck Wayne, cannot live on cereal and take out pizza alone. Of course, your brother scarfs it up and says, decent, and then leaves the dishes. You say, Ted, I cooked, you clean up. He says, sure, later. Later, in Ted speak, means before the parents get home. Weeks, months, years. Well, maybe not years. So you sigh your long-suffering sigh. Reject the thought of dumping the remainder of the fruit salad over your ungrateful slob of a brother's head. Remind yourself that he's the only bro you have and clean up yourself. In self-defense, another course not offered in the local dojo. Housework as self-defense. Ah, domestic arts. Maybe that's why your parents travel. No housework. They pack, they unpack. When they get to a big enough hotel, they call room service and have everything cleaned. Your father is talking about going to Pompeii in Italy. You mentioned that you thought Pompeii was buried under ash or something. You know about Pompeii? Your mother sounds surprised and pleased. You almost tell her you watched a late night TV movie about it, but you stop. Both the words late night and TV make parents go, well, parental. You say, fascinating place, she says, an entire town buried in volcanic ash. You imagine your own house buried in volcanic ash. When they dug it up in the future, what would they think? Daniel, are you thinking about that episode of Phantom Investigators? Later. Busy week, haven't had much time. Time flies. Doesn't matter if you're having fun or just cooking and cleaning and having mono conversations with your long distance parents. Big zero night ahead. Phone. Okay, back. Just when you thought you could count on a quiet, boring evening at home, Dawn is back. Oof. We can all feel a disturbance in the force. Sunny just called to tell you. Plus, Tyler has returned to NYC. He's in a play. Being in a play on Broadway gives him more acting experience, Sunny says. Sunny wants all the friends to get together for fun. Tonight. See you later. Post friends and fun. Liked the movie, liked the food, liked the company, but wouldn't you know it, all is not perfect in Ducky Land. Are you the only one who notices these things? The only one who feels the urge, the need to smooth it all over? The only one who wonders if he is imagining it all? Being hypersensitive? In the course of Friends Night Out, you discover, or learn more about, Maggie's absent without leave status. Your parents are AWOL physically, so is Maggie's father, in Vancouver, working on a movie deal. Her mom, however, is home, but absent. She spends her time drinking. Maggie has faced Dawn... Sorry, I read that as Maggie has faced Dawn, an eating disorder, etc. It says, Maggie has faced down an eating disorder. She sees a therapist. She is strong and getting stronger. She is tough and brave and cool, and you admire her for it. But you are taken aback at the diner post-flick when Maggie says flatly, my mom was loaded when I left. If I'm lucky, when I get home tonight, she'll be passed out and I won't have to deal with her. This stops the conversation pretty much cold. Maggie says she might as well not be there. If it weren't for Pilar, the house would fall down around our ears. Amalia gives Maggie a quick, sympathetic look and says, stay over at my house tonight, Maggie. You know you always can. Maggie ducks her head. Enough. I've stayed over enough this week. Sunny offers her house, too. Maggie says, thanks, I'll keep you in mind if it's too reeking at the home. Plus, Zeke needs me. Her voice is bitter, defeated. You decide to change the subject. You say, brilliantly, so what is everyone going to have to eat? But it works. You plunge into a deep discussion of the menu. You can't help but be relieved that Maggie dives right into the subject too. You also hope, once more, that no one notices your relief. You don't want Maggie to think you're thinking about her recent eating problems, even if you are. You all order massive amounts of food. You hold your straw under your nose and do reviews of the green salad, the burgers, the fries, even the soda. Fizzy, but with a subtle bouquet. Suggestive of sporting events and movie theaters, you say. You are embarrassingly pleased when everyone laughs. Sunny says, I bet you have a lot more hidden talents, Ducky. She is leaning against you. You put on a fake French accent and say, Yes, I speak several languages, too, including the language of love. Everyone cracks up, except Sunny. She usually laughs the hardest at your jokes, especially lately. But now, she just looks at you. Why do you suddenly wish you had those dark glasses again? You think of Sunny as being on pretty much the same page as you, but at the moment you feel like she's reading from another book altogether. You don't get what the look means. You smile and glance away and see Dawn and Brendan looking at you too. They look at Sunny, they look at you, they exchange glances. You become busy with the soda and decide to leave the jokes to other people for a while. After all, you don't have to entertain everyone else all the time, do you, Ducky? It's not your job. Feeling self-conscious and stupid, you focus on making normal, low-key conversation. Only now, Sunny is laughing at everything you say, or at least smiling. How do you take this? Is Sunny in one of her moods? You decide to be cool. You concentrate on the others at the table, listening to them, not saying much. You notice things. One of the things you notice is when Brendan puts his hand over Amalia's on the table, she slides her hand away. Ooh. Oh no, I like them. Sure, it doesn't say Maggie beats the bitch out of Dawn. I don't think it says that, unfortunately. No, you were right the first time. Maggie has face down Dawn, an eating disorder, and a drunk mother. No, you're right. I am correct. It's not. I'm inserting that into my reading. And I think Anne Martin wouldn't be unsupportive of that. When Brendan drapes his arm casually over the back of the booth and her shoulders, she jumps up. "Excuse me," she says. Dawn, Maggie, and Sunny immediately jump up too. They all go to the bathroom. It's a girl thing. Brendan and you look at each other, but you don't comment on it. Instead, Brendan says something about the A's, and you say something about the Dodgers. Fortunately, the girls don't stay there long. You can only discuss so much baseball. But Ted keeps you up to speed on it, since it's what guys talk to each other about instead of about, well, the things girls talk about. Don't know why. It's a guy thing. Later. August 21st. Guy things, friends. I'm not very good at guy things, and I just don't get it. It's like all the other guys have this book of rules that someone forgot to give me. Or maybe I got the book, but some of the pages were left out. Or maybe I got a different book. Is there more than one book on how to be a guy? Like, guys are supposed to be cool, not too emotional, bored with girl things. Or shopping is stopping on the street to admire a set of wheels, or a retrofitted Harley, maybe. Cooking is what you do with a microwave and a frozen pizza. Guys watch sports on the television. They play sports. They talk about chicks and babes. The gross loser Cro-Mags can get pretty graphic about it, thinking pathetically they're being super studs. Not all guys are like that, of course, but most sort of fit along the spectrum. At one end, there are Cro-Mags, and in the middle are ordinary guys, and what am I? Am I a failed guy? So young? Wait a minute. Just because I'm not in love with Sunny doesn't make me a failure. And there are plenty of guys who cook, aka rich and famous chefs, and like cool clothes and rock stars, movie guys. Still, if I understood this whole guy thing world, Still, if I understood this whole guy thing, would I feel so freaked out about Sunny? I work at a bookstore. Where on the shelves is the book on how to be a guy? I'm sure that book exists somewhere. Although, you know, gender's a social construct. You don't have to fit into any one category, Ducky. It's okay, Ducky. Duckman. Duckmeister. trying to get, like, more fluid intake, especially, like, up my water intake, because I'm really bad about drinking enough. And it cannot be good for my already not great immune system. 10:55 a.m., wherein you learn that you can't tell a book by its cover. You listen to a lame-o joke for the 1000th time. Hi, read any good books lately? You smile at the lame-o customer who looks like a walking sports logo billboard, although you are not sure what the sports are exactly. Mountain biking and snowboarding, maybe? And try to be glad that he is at least talking to you like a human being and not a robot, only here to serve him. You steer him to the poetry section. Poetry? It's what he asked for. Gotta shelf books. 12:30. Shelved. Boxed returns. Labeled boxes. Phew. Poetry guy still there. 2 books under his arm. Head buried in a third. You head in his direction to see who his poets of choice are. It's a mix. Whitman, Adrian, Rich, and Baudelaire. Maybe I'll have to check them out sometime. He's got a decent selection out there. Much later, as in if your parents were around, they'd be saying subtle parent things like it's getting late. Mr. W snags you as you are pondering the poets. It's slow for the moment, he says. Why don't you take lunch now, Christopher? Okay, you say. You will check receipts later to see what poetry books went out in your absence. You are headed out the door when you meet Brendan. I'll sell you a book, you tell him, but then I've got my lunch break. Come to the diner with me, Brendan suggests. You agree. You confess, now strangely nervous. What are you going to talk to Brendan about? You've never hung around with him alone before. You hang around with the, let's face it, girls. The guys who are your friends. 2? Whom you've known forever. Jason, with whom you are no longer have a thing in common. And Alex, away, being treated for depression and a suicide attempt. These are your guy friends. Sometimes you miss Jason. You definitely miss Alex, but you've barely kept in touch with him, and he's not been big on keeping in touch with you either. You want him back better, but meanwhile, girls are easier to be friends with. Girls talk about things besides sports, and babes. You review your sports data. You realize you pretty much used it the night before. What would John Wayne do? Phone. Suki Tanuki, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you. Welcome to our community. We are very glad to have you. Welcome to the live stream. We are reading the final in the California Diaries series, which is a spin-off of the Babysitter's Club. And yeah, we're just chilling. Joss. I'm also working out more. That's good. Work out inside my apartment. Might manage to get myself to my apartment actual gym later. Yay! I need to work out more. Excuse me. You said it wonderfully. Oh, good. I mispronounce everything, and when it comes to people's names and usernames, I'm always just like, oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry if I say this wrong. 12:15 a.m. Parents. They actually say when you tell them what time it is here. It's getting late, isn't it? You say, it's Saturday night. Your mother says, oh. Did you have a date? No, you say. The conversation pretty much loses it from there, but you were writing about the bookstore. Actually cut to the diner. Sorry, the diner. You and Brendan have done some sports talk on the way there. After you've ordered, you reach deep and say, "Who do you like in the WNBA?" Brendan gives you a strange look. "Phoenix still rules for me," he says. Then he says, "But I'm not that big on sports." "Me neither," you say, way too quickly. To cover your major sports knowledge gap, you tell Brendan about the poet slash logo jock, and he laughs. After that, you are not so worried about talking to him. True, it's not like hanging out with Alex. With Alex, you could go off about your fantasy of becoming a cowboy or discuss the latest babysitter slash housekeeper your parents had left behind to look after you while they did their vanishing act. At least it wasn't Dawn. But you had history with Alex. For those of you who are new to the live streams, we're not big on Dawn from the Babysitters Club, if you've ever read any of those books. She's pretty mean to her friends all the time. And it's a running joke that we just all despise her because she's kind of awful every time she's given a chance to not be. But you had history with Alex. And besides, you were younger then. You no longer fantasize about becoming a cowboy. And your parents no longer leave you with a babysitter slash housekeeper. Brendan actually asks you what it's like not to have your parents around. You say living on takeout is not as much fun when it's a 24/7 option. Then, so you don't sound as if you're feeling sorry for yourself, you say that the freedom is great. Brendan nods. He doesn't talk about his parents, so you don't ask. Can't tell a book by its cover. Yeah, that feels like when you're homeschooled. And people ask you, like, how do you like being homeschooled? Do you really like, being on your own, like, without other kids around all the time? And, like, you're like, what am I gonna say? Sure. Not my favorite thing, but, I love your glasses. Sorry for off topic. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I have other glasses that are heart-shaped ones, but I've been wearing these a lot lately. These are, like, the rose-colored ones, and they're just very comfortable. Thank you. He doesn't talk about his parents, so you don't ask. Can't tell a book by its cover. You find yourself telling him a little about Alex. Not a lot about Alex, though. Maybe the whole school talks about what happened. You don't know, but he's got a right to his privacy, and you're not going to talk about it. Besides, it's hard to talk about it, even to your closest friends. So you chat and chew, and Brendan tells you a little about his old school. You ask before you think if his old school had a Cro-Mags in it, and he looks puzzled. So then you have to explain that Cro-Mags is short for Cro-Magnon cave people. The jocks at school, those are universal, he says. I'm not sure if that's good news or bad news, you say, and he laughs. Ducky the entertainer. Somehow, the conversation shifts around to the girls at school. You know a lot of them, he says. Bond. James Bond. A girl in every locker. Friends, you say. Somehow, this past year, we started hanging out and became friends. You're not sure how to explain it other than that. Luckily, Brendan doesn't ask deep questions. He nods and says, well, about Amalia, is it my imagination or has she been a little distant lately? Amalia, you say. Distant? He nods. Ever since I came back from camp, she's nice. She's friendly. She laughs at my jokes and we go out. But I don't know. It's like she's taken a step back. Oh. You decide it's better not to mention. You noticed it too. I don't think there's anybody else, Brendan says. He pauses. Your cue. No, you agree. You tell him you're sure about that. He looks relieved for a moment. She's not like that, you add. I don't think so, Brendan says, but for some reason I don't feel as if I know her the way I did at the beginning of the summer. You're not sure what the problem is either. Give it time, you say. Oh, excuse me. Give it time, you say. Your pal Al. I can't stay for long, but I was watching some of your older content and I liked your stuff. Thank you. Welcome. I know we have a few new people today, and I just want to say thank you very much. We just recently hit 7,000 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you. Hi, Anton. My mom wants me to tell you that she has the magnets. She's had the magnets that you got her up on the fridge ever since you've been here. Have a good evening. 7K in 3 years. I can't believe it. I went homeschooled this year for the first time since COVID, and I get so tired of how's school. Oh, you're homeschooled? Interesting. Oh yeah, isn't that fun? Isn't that so fun? And they all look at you like you made the decision, and you're like, I like people used to ask me when I was like 10. So you like homeschooling? Really? You don't want to go to regular school? And I'm just sitting here like as if I had any control. She loves those magnets so much. Where was I? Lame, but serviceable. Brendan nods. It's what I figured, he says. Then he switches to you, as in B. What about you and Sunny? D. Just the home improvement. That's what I'm picturing. B. You know, like dating? D. Nervous laughter. B. Seriously. So you tell him you'd never be interested in Sunny that way, and you know she wouldn't be interested in you that way. Brendan says, don't kid yourself. I've seen the way she looks at you. Those looks. Is that what they mean? You want to slide down under the table and stay there. You reject the whole idea. What does Brendan know? You laugh again and say, why ruin a beautiful friendship? Then you say, I'd better get back to work. You talk with Brendan about working in the bookstore on the way back. Your dramatic account of the shoplifter lasts most of the trip. Then you say goodbye to Brendan, although you can't say goodbye to what Brendan said. How could Brendan be so off base about you and Sunny? Can a guy and a girl be friends without the whole world making something of it? Why is that so hard for the world to accept? And Sunny would never go for it anyway, even if it was a possibility, which it is not. August 22nd, Sunday. Not possible. No reason to go there. You're Ducky. She's Sunny. You're friends. End of story. School nowadays is different. So I guess it's nice. I worry I'm missing out though. Well, I'm glad. That's good at least that you. That's good to like have say and all of that. We were much less technologically advanced when I was homeschooling because I'm old. August 23rd, 2:23 p.m. Mondays at the bookstore are slow. Not that bookstores are usually party scenes. Mr. W came in and opened the store with Sunny. When you get here at 2 o'clock, he bolts. Leaving you and Sunny alone together. Stop this. You and Sunny are 90 gazillion books and a whole store full of people. For a moment, you are tempted to think about asking Jay, the friend formerly known as Jason, for his advice. He dates girls. He listens to the Cro-Mags talk about dating girls. The girls who go out with those guys seem ordinary and nice. Then why are they dating Cro-Mags? Maybe Jay could give you some help. Then you remember his stupid efforts to introduce you to girls, any girls, as if girls were interchangeable, as if people were interchangeable. You do not need Jay's advice. Besides, this isn't a girl-guy thing. Just because Brendan said so, that doesn't make it true. He's way off base, out of the ballpark, in another game. Jay would just start talking about what a babe Sunny is. She's 13. Maybe don't say that. She is cute. Well, pretty. Beautiful, maybe. Here she comes. Stash this. Oh, sweet summer child. Like, nah, Sunny, the girl who just always wants to be around me all the time, couldn't be interested in me. Definitely not. All right. Making decent time on this book. The Ducky books are always deceptive because they look, when you pull them off the shelf every single time, I'm just like, these are so short. Why does Ducky get the short books? And then you realize his writing is just so tiny, it's not really shorter than the other books. It's just compact. Gotta go, you kids have fun. Bye, Anton. Good seeing you. All right. $4.45. You have shelved books, tallied receipts, boxed returns, unpacked books. You are not going to vacuum. No housework at the bookstore. Sunny has spent some quality time in the coffee room. The boxes of tea are in alphabetical order. The sink sparkles. She's put hooks under the cabinet to hang the mugs on so they're not jammed on the table with the coffee pot and microwave. Now it looks neat, clean, organized. She brings you a cup of hot tea. A clip of hot tea. You discuss the coffee that the bookstore keeps on hand for Mr. W and employees. Sunny says she has a plan. She is going to start using the petty cash and buying decent coffee when her father isn't around. She'll put it in the old coffee tins, and maybe he'll never notice that he never has to buy a new can of coffee. It's a plan, you conceded. Meanwhile, I made you tea because the coffee is vile, Sunny says. Tar bucks, you offer, and Sunny laughs. You notice that her eyes crinkle in a good way, and she does, when she does. Well, you noticed it before. Now you notice it again. Stop this. August 24th, 9:45 p.m., avoiding the subject. Hi, Sunny says, it's me. Hi, you say. Then you run out of things to say. Sunny doesn't notice, does she? She tells you Maggie is hanging in there. She reports that Dawn wants to, quote, explore more piercings, but that her father has said a big no. She says she dreams of owning a retro bowling shirt with her name embroidered on the pocket. She wants to find it just hanging on the rack, or better yet, in a big bin of jumbled up clothes, the kind that vintage stores put out for buck-a-bag sales. It would bowl you over. It would bowl you over, you offer? Sunny laughs hard. Are your jokes that funny? Or is this some girl-guy thing? You are not ready for this. This is not for publication, but you aren't ready. At least you're pretty sure you aren't. You are not going to write about it anymore. You're going to write about something else. 9:55 p.m. Okay, you're home now. You can't stop thinking about the Sunny situation. 10:03. Anything else? 10:30. That's it. You're down for the night. 10:33. Well, at least you didn't write about that subject again. August 25th. Late a.m. Wednesday. Park, bike, you, thinking, are you laughing too hard at Sunny's jokes? Being around her makes you feel like laughing. Generally, you feel you know pretty good. Oxygenated, caffeinated, but in a good way. You've always laughed at her jokes. She's always laughed at yours. You get each other's sense of humor. If you stop laughing at Sunny's jokes now, it's going to be bizarre. I don't know why my OCD acts up specifically when we're talking about where I am on page counts. Ellery, I'm free from work at long last! Yay! I'm so excited to start reading So You Want to Be a Wizard. I'm so looking forward to Saturday. Page flip ASMR. Well, next week. Yay! Weekend! Long weekend. Early PM. Break room, bookstore. Did Sunny just ask you on a date? Is hey, want to catch the extremely bad action flick at the Plex when we're out of here? A date invitation? Evidence. For you suggest calling up the rest of the gang to maximize the sounds of disgust throwing popcorn at the screen potential. Sunny says, nah, let's just go together. You say, sure. Then you bolt in here and grab the old journal like a life raft. I like that he keeps the journal in the break room. That's cute. Against, it's Sunny and you, friends. This is all Brendan's fault. Yeah, Brendan, you'll blame him. Like, that's going to fix things now. Besides, it's not Brendan's fault. Stop freaking, Ducky. Just act like yourself. This is not a situation except in your own duck brain. Impromptu vacation. Oh no, I mean, I don't have a shift until a week from today exactly. Oh, you have a week off. Well, I hope you get to do something fun in that week off. Hi, Bernie. Yes, we read, for anybody who missed it and wants to go back to the beginning of the stream to catch it because it was adorable. Before we started reading the final California Diaries book, we read this book that I have called Vader's Little Girl, or Vader's Little Princess. I need to bookbind it. I need to fix it because it's very loved. I found this at a Goodwill, but it's just these adorable little cartoon strips about an alternate universe where Vader is a single dad. So that was cute. I get to have the most fun. I get to sleep. That is fun. That's the dream. That's how you know you're an adult, is when you're just like, I just want to sleep. It Like Me is on Prime. Great show. Is the anime Ghost Stories any good? Ghost Stories. Is that the one where they just started going rogue with the dubbing, or is that a different one? I could be mixing up my animes. 6:10 p.m. Mr. W is having an in-depth discussion with a new potential full-timer. She looks okay. With school starting soon, he's going to need someone full-time, but that's not what's important here. You are avoiding the subject. You are propped near the bookstore in trance, scribbling, while Sunny is changing, as in slipping into a bathroom to change clothes from her work clothes to something else for going to the movies. You think about this way too much. Like, did she bring clothes from home just for this, not date? Is she getting dressed up? Did she plan the whole thing? Should you... What? Breath mints. Gotta go. I have like 10 boys love movies I got for my birthday that I need to catch up on. That sounds like a wonderful impromptu vacation, honestly. Later, eons later, mind-altering, time-traveling, significant amounts of time later, really only 11:20 on an ordinary Wednesday night, you wish. Okay, back to pre-it's not a date panic. You buy 2 packs of breath mints at the pharmacy and eat about and eat about 6 on the way back to the bookstore. Your whole brain... They didn't have breath mints at the bookstore? Usually you can get those just at the counter. Maybe he did it out of spite for the fact that he doesn't like the impulse buys. Very crack dub vibes because no one gave a crap about it at the time. And it's like, how many people can we offend at once humor? The whole way through, the original is just meh. Yeah, that's what I thought. Where was I? Your whole brain smells like peppermint. Fortunately, Sunny doesn't notice when she emerges from the break room. She looks good. The flitty top thing especially, definitely dressier than bookstore mode. Nice look, you say. Sunny smiles, and her eyes crinkle, and you blurt out, want to get something to eat? Great idea, she says, and her eyes crinkle even more. You practically run from the bookstore. You do not remember Sunny saying goodbye to her father and telling him you'll bring her home later, although you know she must have. You do not remember how you ended up in Galaxy Deluxe. But there you are in the brand new retro joint, staring at the menu while Sunny admires the bowling trophy decor. You do not remember what you ate. You do remember part of the movie. It's so bad that you and Sunny are collapsing against each other laughing. You are whispering the action hero's lines before he says them. The girl, the damsel in distress, stands around looking slightly malnourished and screaming a lot, just like in the John Wayne movies of ancient history, except those girls look better fed. Don't the people who make movies get it? Clearly not, and you yourself did just pay money to see this old-fashioned, high-tech piece of junk. And then Sunny takes your hand while she is in a mid-laughing fit. She grabbed your hand before, but this feels different. Plus, she doesn't let go. That's the last thing about the movie you remember. You regain consciousness as your car pulls up outside Sunny's house. She is shaking her head. Too much, Ducky, she says. Too much what? What have you been talking about? You must have been acting normal because she's not giving you Planet Ducky looks. It's been fun, you say, to conceal the fact that you are recovering from some kind of amnesia attack. You have your hand back. Soon, surely your mind will follow. Sunny puts her hand on the door. In the dark, you see the flash of her teeth, and she smiles at you. Then, without warning, she leans forward and kisses you on the mouth. And it's not a just friends kiss either. You freeze. Your lips freeze. The night freezes. You do not, however, lose consciousness as you did in the movie. On the contrary, you are much too conscious. Sunny does not appear to have noticed the upchill or the parallel icing over of the local universe. She pulls back, smiles again, and says softly, "Night, Ducky." She slides out of the car and is gone. Sunny kisses you. Sunny kissed you, Ducky, on the mouth with, well, feeling. Brendan was right. You were wrong. You sit in the car until you realize that Sunny might think you're sitting there thinking about the kiss, which you are, but not in that way. You're thinking in a panicked, where's the rabbit hole kind of way. You start the car and drive, careful not to burn rubber or show any other signs of fear or derangement. You feel miserable. This is the end of a beautiful friend. Is this the end of a beautiful friendship? Then you think, what is wrong with you? You just got kissed. What's the problem here? Ducky is a guy, Sunny is a girl. They call him Ducky because everybody thinks about Ducky from Pretty in Pink. And Ducky is clearly not sure about his sexual orientation or gender identity, I don't think. I think that's being said without being said, you know? If it's the English dub, it's funny so long as you aren't easily offended by some morally dubious humor. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's definitely what I've heard. Midnight, when a kiss is not just a kiss. You don't care if you do have to work tomorrow. You realize that you need to stay up and worry about this. Sunny kissed you. What an anxious person's thought process. No, I do need to lose sleep over this. I can't just sleep right now. Yes, Ducky could be non-binary. Ducky could be bi. Ducky could be gay. We're not really sure because Ducky isn't really sure because Ducky's 16. Sunny kissed you. You did not kiss her back. Your heart raced, but not with passion. It was another P word. Sorry. I just heard Ben Shapiro's voice in my head. P word. Sorry. Back on topic. Panic. It felt not right, as if it were happening to someone else, like an experiment that failed. What does this mean? What does that mean? All of the girls in all the world, Sunny would be the one you'd choose, but you're not at all happy she chose you. You don't want to be chosen. Not like that. Not by Sunny. What is wrong with you? Sunny is perfect for you. You are perfect for her, except for that kiss thing. That lack of he-she chemistry. It's like you need a new chemistry set, enough with the smiles, or maybe I mean metaphors. Or sorry, enough with the similes, or maybe I mean metaphors. Whatever. I'm not going to think about this anymore. I'll deal with it tomorrow. And hey, maybe you were wrong. You read way too much into it. It was just a kiss. Keyword, is it Monday already? No, it's not. But the way he said... Sorry. I'm sorry. My brain... So I tried to be straight and utterly failed even then. Yeah, shockingly, no matter what right-wing people try to tell you, you can't choose your orientation. And whatever orientation you have is valid. Ducky is 16 in like 2001. Yeah, doing the math on that. Oh my god, I feel old. Ducky would be well into his 30s. But yeah, Ducky, as long as you pick age-appropriate people, you can be into whoever you want. August 26th, post-work. Ruining Sunny's life, possibly. Okay, maybe you didn't ruin her life, but when she bounded into work smiling and saying, Ducky! Like she hadn't seen you forever and looked like she'd like to throw her arms around you as if she could, you didn't have to look the way you did. What way? With a frozen face like a duck in headlights. Sunny's megawatt smile dims. You say, hi, Sunny. She's still smiling on her way to the break room, but it's more like one of those customer-friendly models. You fling yourself at an unsuspecting customer who is a little taken aback at the detail with which you explain the frequent customer discount policy. She finally cuts you off with a just looking thanks. You straighten a few books on the long walk back to the register, where Sunny is sitting, holding a mug of coffee. You made the coffee switch, you begin to babble. Fun fact, since we've talked this whole time, or random fun question, since we've talked this whole time about who we'd cast in our fictional California Diaries series, which character would you all want to play if you could play any of the characters? I feel a kinship with Sunny. I feel like I'd have fun being a Sunny. But that's just me. Cool. I think I'll get me some. How's your father? Has your father noticed? Well, I guess not if you just did it, huh? Ducky, she says. You stop babbling. She says, hey, Ducky, relax. It was just a kiss. You were in the right place at the right time. That's all. Yeah? You say trying to keep your tone neutral? You cannot fool Sunny. She knows you, but you don't know her at all. What does the look she's giving you now mean? Hey, nothing personal, okay? She says. She pats your arm and winks at you. You feel scalded. Sunny says, I did sneak in some new coffee. Just made it. I'll go get you a cup. You watch Sunny walk away and hope she is still your friend. Poor Sunny's been through a lot. You take the coffee. When she returns, you say, you know, Sunny, you are one of the most important people in my life. Ooh. Ah. Sunny laughs, and it sort of scares you, but she says, silly boy, I better be. Now stop brooding, or I'm not going to ask you out to play with me again. How could she be so sophisticated? I don't want to mess us up, you blunder on. Keep talking like that. You will. She shoots back, light, fast, a smile with the glitter on it. You get the hint. Sunny is smiling, but this is not a happy smile. It's a smile that says, shut up, Ducky. You've hurt my feelings. So you shut up, and you stay that way the rest of the day. You do not laugh, together or separately, not once, not even when Mr. W stares down at his mug of coffee and goes, good coffee. I guess I ought to wash out my cup more often. Jesus Christ. I would want to play Ducky because that would be gender reaffirming as hell. Yes. Yes. A background extra. Valid, we need background extras. Palace says, Sunny. No one wants to play Dawn. As my old acting teacher used to say, if you can't empathize with a character on some level, you can't play them. And I could never play Dawn. "8:15 p.m. Later Thursday. You cannot call the people you would normally call. Dawn, Maggie, and Amalia are all too close to Sunny. You will not call Jay. Telling Jay would be like telling the world. Besides, he would laugh at you. Yeah, Jay sucks. Jay is like a gender-bent Dawn, in a way. He might also suspect that this is your fault, your first real kiss, and if he asks you, you will not be able to lie. Furthermore, he will start calling you all those stupid nicknames he's made out of Ducky, Duckman, Duckorama, Duckster. You did not need that. And yet, somewhat later, saved by the Ted. Just as you are reaching for the phone, you hear the back door, then the refrigerator door, then a cabinet door. Ted is home. You decide you will talk to Ted. You find him in the kitchen, shoving cereal into his mouth like there's a shortage. Hey, Ted, you say. Ucky, he mumbles around the mouthful of cereal. Can I talk to you? He swallows the cereal. I'll clean the kitchen. I know it's my turn. I will. Is that how Ted sees you? The person who nags about house cleaning? Okay, you say, listen, could I talk to you about something else? So he listens to you while you listen to him slurp up the rest of the cereal as you tell him the whole pathetic story, except that you don't mention the kiss was numero uno. He looks at you when you finish and say, you don't like her? Yes, I like her, you say, but not like that. I mean, kissing her didn't do it for me. It was like, well, I don't know. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, says Ted, big man on campus. Yeah, well, what do you do when it doesn't? Ted shrugs. He says, Ducky, she'll get over it. You'll get over it. And hey, maybe you just need more practice together. He makes a kissy noise. Cro-Mag. You leave. Don't forget to clean the kitchen is your last parting shot. Is your lame parting shot. You're welcome, he shouts after you. Ted is useless. Useless. Why expect him to be understanding and sensitive when he can be an obnoxious big brother? Do they have schools for this? How do people learn to be so completely obnoxious? Are they born this way? Jay wasn't. Back when he was Jason, before he started hanging out with the Cro-Mags, he was normal. Okay. Ted, you think you are... Ted, you think you remember, had moments when he wasn't a snotty older brother. When you were younger, he'd take you along sometimes and not complain too much. He was protective of you when the other kids circled like sharks, but now he's the brother from the planet Lug. Team Rocket preparing for trouble and make it double. Yeah, pretty much. Jay and Dawn are soulmates derogatory. Yep. Ooh. I can tell it's been a few days since the last read stream because my voice is just like, We're getting to the end, though. 10:01. So you've called Brendan. You hope it's not too weird, but you are desperate. He is, after all, the one who brought this up in the first place. You have decided he is not to blame, but you are still including him in this whole mess. Amazingly, Brendan is at home. You thought he had a date with Amalia. What happened to your date? You blurt out. Tactful, Ducky. She canceled, he tells you. It's Maggie. She showed up at Amalia's, and she was, according to Amalia, pretty upset. You don't ask if it's about Maggie's mom. It is always about Maggie's mom. Poor Maggie, you say. Yeah. He changes the subject. What's up? Advice, you say, about Sonny. Yeah, he sounds expectant. We had a date, you begin. What did I tell you? She likes you. Wait, you say. You tell him the whole story, more or less. The less being that you don't get too specific about the kiss, as in she seemed to enjoy it, but you did not. You conclude by saying, so maybe you were right, Brendan. Maybe Sonny does sort of like me. But, he says, I hear doubts. I like Sonny too, you say. I love Sonny, but not like that. Not in that way. Split screen, Brendan flipping through the TV channels while he talks, you clutching the phone, big-eyed with panic. B. Whoa. D. Keanu Reeves says that in every movie. Did you know that? B. Really? Well, silence. B. Okay, well, this could be a problem. I don't mind telling you, just between us, that Amalia mentioned what a great couple she thought you and Sonny would make. D. She did? Great. B. Yeah. D. What am I going to do? B. I don't know. What do you want to do? D. I don't know. I guess just want things to be the way they were. B. That is not going to be easy. It may not be possible. D. But Sonny, B. You gotta do something fast, you know. The longer you let it go, the worse it's going to get. It's too bad. D. What is? B. That you and Sonny are such good friends. If it was just, you know, a normal date that didn't work out, you could smile at each other in the halls and let it go. D. Great. Just great. B. Unless you're mistaken. D. No. B. Well then, you can't be attracted to her if you're not. You shouldn't try to talk yourself into it. That's not fair to her or you. You'll just end up hurting her worse if you try to fake it. So go with the truth. That's how to do it. D. It's brutal. B. Not so bad. The alternative is worse. D. Gulp. Okay. Right. Thanks. B. Anytime. Cut to Ducky sprawled on the floor of his room, wishing he were somebody else. A Cro-Mag, for example. A being without feelings, or at least the appearance of feelings. What if I'm just a coward? What if I have commitment issues? What if I'm afraid to get involved? Sonny would be the perfect girlfriend. We'd make a great couple. We like the same things. We share the same fashion sense. We're so close anyway. Why not get closer? Why not? Why not? Why don't I feel it? August, poor Ducky. The truth will set you free. Indeed. August 27th, Friday. Lunch break at work. Sunny called in sick. This is a bad sign. Mr. W says she's fine when you ask. You have a paranoid moment wondering whether he's thinking he hurt my little girl, the creep. But you know Sunny hasn't said anything to him. I hope she feels better, you say. You have hurt her. You are a creep. An insensitive Cro-Mag. Poor Ducky. You reshelve books. You brood. Wait a minute. You didn't kiss Sunny. She kissed you. You didn't even kiss back. She just didn't notice. There's Dawn. Gotta go. Oh God, Dawn makes everything worse. Afternoon break on a bench outside. Dawn actually found a couple of books for a customer and ended up helping you shelve for a while. Really? Dawn being helpful? I can't imagine that. She kept the conversation light. She did not talk about Sunny. You did not talk about Sunny. This lack of the mention of Sunny's name leads you to believe that Sunny has talked about you to Dawn, but you can't ask her since she is more Sunny's friend than yours. Terrific. Are you now going to have to divide your friends into Sunny and Duckies? Sunnies and Duckies? Like you have friends to spare? What are you going to do? Dawn is being helpful? What does she want? Right? We've got the answer. She's trying to pry. She's trying to pry for info on this situation. Yelling from what back in the room? Fuck Dawn. Yelling from way back in the room. Fuck Dawn. Yeah, pretty much. Say it louder for the people in the back. Ugh. 6:20 p.m. Bench riding outside the bookstore. Again. Don't feel like going home. Amalia just left. She said, Ducky, I need to talk to you. John Wayne never ran from a fight, but you're pretty sure those words would have made him think twice. So she can talk to you, you just can't talk to her. This is mean and petty and low, and it's how you feel. The basic facts. But you are Ducky, the understanding friend to all, boyfriend to none. You nod. You say, okay, you're just finishing for the day. You go to the local Bean and Brew, get cappuccinos, and stake out the benches. You say, so what's up? To your enormous, cowardly, what a rotten friend you are relief, Amalia says, it's Maggie. Maggie, you say, and let out a saved inside. Because you, hi, I'm Ducky, center of the known universe, everything is about me, were actually afraid she had come to talk to you about Sunny and you. No. Ducky. See, Ducky's afraid that he is what Dawn actually is, and that's the thing with people who are actually good people. People who are actually good people are cursed to worry that they're bad people all the time, and bad people are completely oblivious to the fact that they're not good people. Team Ducky v Team Sunny. Oh, no. Malia nods. She thinks you're sighing in sympathy. Yeah, she says. Then she tells you about the hours Maggie spent at her house the night before, all torn up about her mother. She tells you that Maggie can't take much more of this. She tells you that something's got to give. Maggie has to confront her home life or she's going to blow, Amalia says. Explode, break down, something I don't know what. As long as you're there for her, maybe she won't, you say. Then you feel like a complete jerk. You tried to be there for Alex and did it help? No, you couldn't save him. Couldn't help him. The best you could do was send him to the ER, and now you barely hear from him at the treatment center. Being there for someone is, in your opinion, not always the best advice. But what other advice can you offer? Amalia sighs, big, yeah. She says her voice is unconvincing as your lame offer of sympathy. Maybe you could talk to Mrs. Bloom with Maggie, be there for moral support. Somehow I don't think Maggie would go for that. She's right. So you decide to do the original, the the obvious. You decide to change the subject. Talked to Brendan last night. You say he's decent, you know? Yeah, says Amalia, her tone even less convincing. Distinctly lacking in enthusiasm. Yeah, you say? That's it? Sorry, I was trying really hard not to. I just have hiccups, and you know when you're like trying to like stop yourself from having hiccups and it doesn't work? Hey, Laser. Volunteer when the stream happens. Well, I'm glad that you got to do volunteer stuff. That's cool. Again, don't ever feel bad about missing the stream. The VODs are always here. You can catch up. We even read a fun little short art comic strip picture book thing for May the 4th. Although it's the 5th where you are, so it's Revenge of the 5th Day instead of May the 4th. The story is basically all about Ducky panicking because Sunny likes him and he doesn't like her. I still feel bad when I'm at work during stream because I always long to vibe with chat, LMAO. Oh, we always miss you when you're not here. That goes for all of you. Sorry, I don't mean to be doing accidental ASMR, but you know. I like to tap on things. Relief at not being grilled about Sunny makes you bold, giddy, reckless. You say, "What's going on, Amalia, with you and Brendan?" Your tone is no nonsense, authoritative. Very John Wayne. Amalia succumbs to your tough guy act. She says, "Brendan is great, but," you prompt, "but he's too great, you know? I mean, maybe he's too good for me. It's scary how nice he is, what if he doesn't last? It'll hurt, big time. Why suffer if you don't have to? Because you like Brendan? Question mark. Yeah. Like, this is bad news. You want to tell her the bad news is when you don't like someone you count on, someone who is like family to you. Big Amalia sigh. She adds, "I'm just going to try to keep it light." You say, "Come on, Amalia, why be afraid of admitting you care about Brendan?" "I'm not afraid. It's not that, really," she says. "It's just self-respect, common sense reason." "Nope. Fear," you say, fearlessly. She shakes her head, looks down, doesn't answer. "Don't be afraid. If it's right, you can't be afraid. It's when it's wrong that you should be afraid." She jumps up. "Gotta go later," she says, and hurries away without meeting your eyes. Was she crying? Good work, Ducky. But you know you're right. Ask the love doctor. He'll tell you the truth, except about himself. Amalia should date Sunny, and Brendan should date Ducky. So I'm not the only one that thought of this? It's sad, though, because Amalia does like Brendan. She just thinks it's not going to work out because she's been through a toxic relationship and she's just, like, got trauma. August 28th, way past midnight. The phone rings at 5. The phone rings at 5 of midnight. This hour, you figure it's the parents still wrestling with the old time zone problem of theirs. Another few years, they may get it. You also figure that your brother will sleep through the ringing. So you grab the phone and crank, "Hello?" and croak, "Hello?" "Ducky," a strangled voice says. "It's me," you say, still half asleep and not quite sure what's happening. Sure of who's calling you. "It's Maggie," says the voice. Little, scared, tear-filled. Not like Maggie's voice at all. "Maggie," you say, "what's wrong? You're awake now?" You're awake now and a little freaked. And guess what? You do not think this is about you. "Can you pick me up at my house, like, right now?" she says at a low, hoarse whisper. "Now?" you repeat. You realize You do that a lot these days. Repeat words to stall for time. But why do you need to stall for time? There's only one right answer. Please, she whispers urgently. I'm on my way, you say at the same moment. Ducky, she says, and hangs up the phone. Your bro is still sleeping like a baby when you rocket off the premises. You leave him a note, like he's ever gonna wake up and notice your absence. Oh. You get to the Blooms and think maybe you shouldn't ring the doorbell since it's so late. Then you notice that lights are on everywhere. If the house were any brighter, it would look as if it were on fire. And it would be a big fire, too, considering the size of the house. You ring the bell. The door opens a crack. You see one of Maggie's eyes. She whispers, "We'll be right out." You can barely hear her, not because she's whispering, because someone is shouting in there. Loud, incoherent shouting. You hear things breaking. You hear music turned way up. Oh no. Those old Aussie TV movies. I'm gonna take a second. I think it's time to get out the emotional support snacks. I don't think anything can be as tough as that last Sunny book, but this scene's gonna be a little tough, I suspect. Hang on one second. No, I don't have a giant tub of trolley crawlers. Definitely not. Busting out the kitten cam? You know what? Let's bust out the kitten cam. Let's do it. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh, that's quite a lot of kitten cam. Hang on. Look at the babies. Okay, we've got kitten cam, guys. It's okay. Everything's okay. Happy early birthday, Bernie. local Walmart. I still have a few because I've been rationing them because I have not been able to find them yet. But we're very big on them. Gabe and I have been munching them every live stream. Oh, your birthday's on the 29th. I'm so sorry. For some reason, I thought your birthday was the 2nd, just like Gabe's, but still stands. Happy birthday. I've also got sun chips. Yes, I am taking a break to let my voice rest. Happy early birthday, Laser. Try not to crunch directly into the microphone. Oh, that's sad, Laser. Gemini season, almost. I appreciate you remembering my birthday at all. My D&D group didn't even remember until I invited them. To game night. Aww. My sun sign is not Gemini, but my moon and rising are both Gemini, so I feel a kinship. Okay. We all ready? Let's do this. You flinch at the sound. Adjust my headphones so I can hear better. There we go. You flinch at the sound of something big smashing into small pieces as Maggie shuts the door in your face. Moments later, Maggie emerges, holding Zeke's hand. Aww. He's still in his PJs, but he's wide awake. His eyes have that round little kid look. Scared, sleepy, like maybe it's all just a nightmare that mommy will come fix. Mommy's not available, kid. She might as well be in Crete. You're pretty sure about that, even though Maggie says not one word to you on the ride back to your house. She just rocks Zeke and makes this crooning sound. Aww. You lead the way into the house, not sure what else to do. You stash Maggie and Zeke in the parents' room, which has its own bathroom, in case Zeke has any off-hour runs to make. You haul out clean sheets and produce clean towels. We'll take care of it, Maggie says. She hands the towels to Zeke. Why don't you go put these in the bathroom for us, she says. He obeys. He seems glad to have a job to do. You say to Maggie as she stands in the door of the room, "Are you okay?" Figuring maybe she sent Zeke away so you could have a quick chat. "Yes," she says. "Thank you, Ducky. Thank you for not asking any questions." "No problem," you say, taking the hint. "Good night. Call me if you need anything." Maggie nods. It is the nod of a tired, much older woman. She closes the door. You feel like you should stay awake and keep watch. Sit outside the door, pace the hall, but you know this is pointless. Time to zzz. Like Ted's been doing this whole time. Ones I'm closest to remembered at least. Well, that's good. That's definitely good. I'm sure they didn't mean to and probably felt bad about it at least. On the subject of forgetting. August 28th, Saturday, 8:45 a.m. You wake up, you think you've gone to sleep with the radio on because you are hearing voices, but no, the little voices are not coming from the bedside box. They're coming from the kitchen. You throw on some... There wasn't a question mark there, but you know what? There's a question mark there now because I said so. You throw on some clothes, speed to the kitchen, and hover outside the kitchen door. The voices are Maggie's and Ted's. They are chatting away like old friends. Time to make a guest appearance before Ted says something really stupid. 10:30 a.m., more or less. Ted is a jerk. As you walk into the kitchen and you say good morning, he gives you this big, totally obnoxious guy-to-guy wink. His eyes cut to Maggie. You get it. You wish you didn't. Ted, the dumb, thinks Maggie is your girlfriend and that she has spent the night. Maggie doesn't catch this, of course. She is pouring a cup of coffee. You give Ted the death ray look. Then all is redeemed by Zeke, trekking down the hall, calling, Maggie? Maggie, I'm hungry. Ted is blown away. The random collection of cells he calls a brain crashes. As Zeke comes into the kitchen, you enjoy the moment. In Ted's limited universe, Zeke does not compute. I give Ted a big, big wink. Later, I say. Ted recovers, give him credit for something, and makes conversation with Zeke. When did you get here? Ted asks. Late, says Zeke. Can I have any cereal I want? One bowl, says Maggie firmly, but you can put any cereal you want into it. Right, says Ted. Be my guest. He jumps up and begins lining up cereal boxes on the table. When he is finished, he looks from you to Maggie to Zeke. He shakes his head. Gotta go, he says. Nice to see you, Maggie. Zeke. Bye, Zeke says. Maggie gulps down some OJ. You go into your breakfast chef routine and manage to put together pancakes. Zeke demands 3, and Maggie accepts the 2 you offer. You compromise on the missing syrup issue by heating apple jelly in the microwave. You tell Zeke it is special apple syrup. Ed the dumb. He goes for it. He's a good kid. Maggie forks up the pancakes and tells you politely that they're good. She drinks more juice. Silence. You get that Maggie doesn't want to talk about it. You don't ask questions. You can wait her out. It's Zeke's way. It's Zeke who says, I like this better than my house. I hate my house. Why can't Dad come home? Why can't he make Mom act right? That about covers it, you figure. You and Zeke both look at Maggie. Zeke says, don't we count as much as his movie? Maggie speaks at last. Good point, Zeke, she says slowly. We should count at least that much. We should. Yeah, says Zeke. He eats more pancakes. He's right, you say. Your father should be here. This is too much for you, Maggie. Way too much. It's not fair to Zeke or to you. Or to your mother if you want to go there. I don't, Maggie answers. She stands up, takes dishes to the sink, rinses them, and loads them in the petrified forest of dirty dishes in the dishwasher. She takes a box of dishwasher soap off the counter and sets the dishwasher to work. Maggie, you say? She answers, May I use your phone? You nod at the phone on the kitchen counter. She grabs it and dials. Dad, she says, it's me. You have to come home. Now. Things are out of control. No, now. I mean it, Dad. No, you can't call me back later. Zeke and I aren't home. We couldn't. Mom was out of control. She pauses to listen for a minute. No, she says. She listens some more. No, she says, you come home now or I'm going to turn Mom into the police. I mean it. Zeke's eyes go round. She listens. She says, all right then. She hangs up. She looks so relieved. He's catching the next plane back, she says. Zeke says, the police? No way, Zeke. Don't worry. I was just being tough with Dad. Oh, he says. I meet Maggie's eyes. Good for you, I say. Poor Maggie. It's the 29th of April. Ugh, poor Maggie. The downside of the microphone being better now is that it picks up the crunching more than I wanted to. Birthday season is always a good season. Look at the little kitten tails! Oh my gosh, sorry. Bookstore. Afternoon break. Babysitting. You are babysitting in the bookstore. That means that Zeke is reading in the kids section. You are sitting in the beanbag chair, kid size, but adequate, making sure he stays safe and happy, more or less. He's taking all this in stride. After his astute situational commentary this AM, he's kept to himself. You hadn't intended to bring Maggie and Zeke to work, but what else could you do with them? Leaving them alone in your house isn't a kind thing. You've learned to live in the cave. You've learned that if you keep your room clean, the chaos and grime do not bother you too much, but Maggie is different. Sonny and Maggie are hauling out boxes of display props. Mr. W has been looking sad, missing Mrs. W, I think. He touches some of the items in the boxes and then backs away. Sonny catches him at it. She says, Dad, Mom's watching you shrink your work. Mom's watching you shirk your work. For a moment, Mr. W is still, then he smiles. Not 100% smile, but a smile. His eyes meet Sonny's, and she gives him the same kind of smile back. They seem closer than they've ever been, tighter, a real family unit of two. You remember then that Sonny told you that her mother was very into organizing special seasonal windows. She collected props from everywhere, yard sales, catalogs, craft supply houses. She also made them. This explains the Barbies and the beach. It's not just a Sonny thing. It's a Sonny and her mom thing. Look at this, Sonny says. I made this. Well, Mom and I did. She holds up a small papier-mâché tree. We used a paper towel roll to build the trunk. The branches are made of chopsticks saved from the Thai takeout. Cool, says Maggie. Maybe Zeke and I can make something for the window collection. Good idea, Mr. W says. Sonny has barely spoken to you. She's not ignoring you in a mean way. She's just not quite looking at you, shying away from you. You feel rotten. You'd feel worse, but you are exhausted from the night before. You didn't stay up guarding Maggie and Zeke from what, but you didn't sleep at all you didn't sleep all that well either. Hi, Texas. It's okay, Texas. The VOD will be available. We'll miss you, though. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This one hasn't been the most intense. That one still goes to Sunny's book. Third diary book. But we have turned on Kitten Cam, so there's that. State of the district. Ooh, I hope that was fun. I know, the kitties are so cute. Mr. W is doing something at the computer. You watch Zeke and listen to Maggie as Maggie says in a low voice, I know Mom can't help it. I know that's Sunny, but it doesn't help anymore. I mean, when I was out of control about my eating, I kept thinking I was in control, you know? And I bet Mom feels the same way, but it's no good. She's got to stop for me, for Zeke, for Dad, for herself. You're right, Sunny says softly, and then you hear Maggie start to cry. Zeke has put down his book. He is now in puzzle heaven. He doesn't notice. Sunny and Maggie go to the back of the store and stay there for a long time. When they come out of the break room, Maggie's eyes are a little red. She looks tired, but she's still standing. 428. Less rotten, more confused. Sunny just came up to you and whispered, Maggie's told me everything. What you did last night was a good thing, Ducky. You say, but Sunny had already walked away. 6:02, arrivals and departures. Mr. Bloom just showed up to scoop up Maggie and Zeke. I think Maggie wanted to cry, but she wouldn't let herself. She folded her arms and glared at her father. I think she has a right to be angry with him. Zeke flung himself at his father. Mr. Bloom looked shocked. Mr. Bloom thanked me. He thanked Sunny. Maggie kept her arms folded. Only as they were leaving did she unfold them. Zeke took one of his father's hands. Maggie took Zeke's other hand. What are they going to find at home? 7:02. What? What? She gave you this blank, cold, unfriendly look. You thought it meant for you to say, no thank you, Mr. Winslow. I'd like to have dinner with you, but I've promised Ted I'll be home tonight. But as Sunny, you and Mr. Winslow are leaving the store, Sunny whispers, you should have come with us, you know. Before following her father out the door, she doesn't look back. 9:15, heartbroken and heart pain. This could be the title for a country music song. Taco takeout, indigestion, and stupid, stupid, stupid Ducky. Asking Ted's advice again. What were you thinking? First he says Maggie's a babe. She's the one giving you problems? Let me tell you, she's worth it, even if she does travel with a little brother. You tell him she's a friend, not a babe. She's cute, he says. She'll be thrilled you said so. You retort, Ted, you're in college. That is a 13-year-old. Calm down. Good night, Texas. Yes, the little void kittens are so cute. There are also non-void kittens that are cute, but I do love a good void kitty. He says, problems, Ducky? This should have been a cue to give up, but you say Maggie isn't the one giving you problems, and that you are still having problems with the other girl, the one you didn't like that way. You've avoided mentioning Sunny's name. No point in giving Ted too much information. You don't want to have to clean up that mess when his head explodes. He chuckles. Ducky the chick magnet, he says, and continues like that. You should have known he would say brilliant things like, give it spin, check out the menu, drive to the hoop, man. You say, Sunny is not a car, B, an entree, or C, a basketball. You storm out of the family room, leaving Ted puzzled but unafflicted. This was king behavior, Ducky, always standing up for the rights of women. This has taught you, Ducky, a lesson. Asking advice is not going to help. The only thing that is going to help is dealing with it yourself. Tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. August 29, The History of My Sunday, Part 1. So Maggie's okay. You are relieved that one thing in life is going better. Maggie said that on the way home from the bookstore, her father told them what he had apparently planned. You might have known that people in charge of big things like movies would get things done. On the other hand, you can't help but notice that Mr. Bloom spent a lot of time and effort avoiding the whole situation and leaving his kids to stew in it. Good going, Mr. Bloom. But you don't say this to Maggie. Brilliant, Ducky, that you are. Mr. Bloom says he's already talked to the Betty Ford Center, a place where people with drug and drinking problems go to get better. They are waiting for him to bring Mrs. Bloom in, but first there's going to be an intervention. He and two of Mrs. B's best friends are coming over to confront Mrs. B in a firm, caring way about her drinking. Maggie and Zeke can opt out of this part. The scene at the Bloom house is not nice in a big way. You're not there, of course, but Maggie's told you about it. Mrs. Bloom is drunk. The house is trash. Although Pilar has been there cleaning up, Mrs. B doesn't even seem to have noticed that her own two kids were missing. Maggie had left a note for Pilar that fortunately survived Mrs. B's rampage. Even Mr. Bloom looks taken aback. Maggie and Zeke head for the relative peace and quiet of their rooms as Mr. Bloom tries to settle Mrs. Bloom down. He succeeds. Things are quiet until the doorbell rings and rings again. After a while, Maggie slips out onto the stair landing in time to hear Rachel, one of Mrs. Bloom's two friends, say from the library, "Why would I make this up? You are an alcoholic. You drink too. You were loaded at the New Year's party." Mrs. Bloom's voice is off the scale. Maggie feels Zeke sit down next to her. Rachel says, "We're not talking about me, we're talking about you. We're not talking about me, we're talking about you," Mrs. B spits back. Mr. Bloom says something Maggie can't quite catch. Her mother's voice comes through loud and clear, though. She says, "I don't need help, I'm fine. You know what your problem is? You've got too much time on your hands. Take up a hobby. Knitting. Go knit yourself a life." Sorry. Go knit yourself a life is kind of funny. This is not a funny circumstance, but that line made me a little laugh. Been listening, just installed a new dishwasher for my landlord. Yay! So far, no leaks. That's always good. God, our dishwasher has broken down leaking like multiple times, and we've only been in this house like a few years. Maggie is on her feet before she knows it. With Zeke right behind her, she goes down the stairs and into the family room. "Mom, you're a drunk," Maggie shouts, bursting in. Mr. B holds up his hands as if to stop Maggie. She remembers what he said about an intervention. Caring but firm. Not nasty. Not angry. Maggie reins herself in. "I love you, Mom. We all do, but you are killing yourself. Just like I was killing myself when I wasn't eating. It's a disease, and you're going to die if you don't start fighting back." "Don't drink, Mama," Zeke says. "Don't die. This is so sad." Zeke is so little. Mrs. B says, "I'm not sick. I feel fine." Maggie just looks at her mother. Her eyes are filling with tears, but she doesn't turn away. "It's not true," Mrs. B shouts. "I can't quit. I can quit anytime I want. I just don't want to." Mrs. B's other friend, Corinne, puts her hand on Mrs. B's arm. "Listen to your children," she says softly. "Listen to the people who love you most in the world." Mrs. B falters. "It's not true," she says. And then she says, "I'm sorry." She keeps apologizing and promising she'll do better. Mr. B says, "Yes, good. You're going to Betty Ford." Mrs. B stops apologizing and says, "No, I'm not that bad. The Betty Ford Center is for people who have real problems." No one says anything. They all just look at Mrs. Bloom. Her face collapses. She wails, "No." Maggie wants to go to her, tell her it's all right. except that it isn't, and Maggie isn't going to pretend it is anymore. It's Mr. B who says it's over, that it's going too far, that it's gone too far, it's gone on too long. Everyone has tried to cope, but they can't anymore. Mrs. B needs help that they can't give. By now, Mrs. B is really crying. This is very intense. Go knit yourself a life, something the Granny Coven would say. I've become more of a crochet fan, but knitting, I can also... Knitting, you could probably knit yourself a life, too. New shirt design. I don't... Is that ethical? Given... This is a very serious situation. The situation itself is not what I'm laughing at. It's just the line, go knit yourself a life. Look at the kitties playing on their cat tower. Okay, sorry. I needed a chip break. Anyway, Maggie concludes what she's telling you brightly. She left. Gone. On her way to Betty's. When you ask her how she feels, Maggie says, fine. You don't say anything. Maggie says, okay, fine. A little scared. A lot hopeful. And afraid to hope. It could all go wrong. I didn't want to think about it. I don't want to hope, but maybe just facing the fact that Mom is an alcoholic will make a difference for all of us. Can you imagine walking in on this live stream right now? If you're just coming in to join us, we know, we're aware, we have been through highs and lows of unimaginable kinds with this series. August 29th, History of Ducky Sunday Part 2. You hang out around the house until mid-afternoon. You waste time on the web. Who doesn't? You clean the kitchen. You give up and go to Sunny's house, but she's not home. No one is. While you're standing halfway down the front walk, thinking about leaving a note. Bad idea. Making a few phone calls. Not appealing. Or driving around aimlessly, pretending you are searching for Sunny. Appealing. A good, guilt-free way to waste time, except for the waste of fossil fuel. Dawn shouts your name from next door. Oh, dear God. We've gotten away with a pretty Dawn-light couple of books lately, and I would like to keep it that way. You accept her invitation. You enter her casa and go to the mat with the baby. Wait, sorry. And go to the mat with baby Grace. Grace laughs at all your jokes. Fortunately, you don't suspect her of having a hidden, terrifying agenda. As if she has read your mind, Dawn observes that babies have it easy. They don't worry about expectation, she says. They just put it out there. They're happy. They laugh. They're hungry. They cry. No miscommunications, no hurt feelings, and they're willing to forgive you if you make a mistake. So you think they're crying because they want food, and you discover they want to be changed. Change them. They're happy you're happy. You say, yeah, Ducky the great communicator. Dawn says, not unexpectedly given the lead-in. So what about you and Sunny? Any chance? Just like that, she asks the question. The 2-letter negative is on the tip of your tongue, but you lack the straightforwardness of a mere baby like Grace. You say, well, Enter Dawn, dramatic music plays. It's like the Jaws theme song. Dun dun dun. But it's like chanting Dawn's name. I can see it. You say, Sunny's great, I love her, but you say, I wish I could be different about this. You finally wind down your extended version of N followed by O. Grace is staring at you. Dawn is studying you too. You pretend Gracie is fascination personified. She agrees and laughs in delight. Somewhere above you, Dawn says, it's too bad, but I do understand, Ducky, more than you think. And you know what? Sunny will too. Eventually. You hope that this is true, and that it will happen soon. August 29th. History of Ducky Sunday, Part 3. PM, approaching AM. I wish I could fall in love with Sunny. I do, I really do. But I can't. August 29th. History of Ducky Sunday, Part 4. You wish you could go to sleep too, don't you, Ducky? Like Ted the snore machine in there, but you can't. Not until you've talked to Sunny. You get up and go into the kitchen. Maybe you'll clean something else, the laundry room, the den. You forgot you used up all the cleaning supplies on the kitchen. August 29th. History of Ducky Sunday, Part 5. So what are you going to say? If you go with the just be friends routine, it's going to sound like the lame lose yourself it usually is. How did just get to be attracted to the word friends anyway? You've lived a long time without a girlfriend and a pretty good while without anything like a family in residence. Uh-oh. Ah, Days of Our Lives dramatic music. I could see that too. Like sand in the hourglass. But you could live, 10 minutes without friends. Friends are your family of choice. You get to choose them. That's what's so cool about it, and they choose you. That's true love, if you ask. You. August 29th, History of Ducky Sunday, Part 6. That's it. You're going to sleep even if you have to lie in bed awake for the rest of the night. August 30th. So you've told Sunny in a particularly graceful and suave way that you have to talk to her, as in scene, bookstore, moments after opening. You emerge from the rest room and there's Sunny. D. Sunny. S. Good morning, Ducky. D. Sunny. Sunny. A look. Ducky. Can we talk? Sunny. Long pause. Okay, after work. You are not sure whether you are relieved for the time to think about it or whether you just wish it were over with already. 5:15. Late break. You are sucking back coffee because when you're nervous, that helps your nerves, right? No, it does not. Caffeine definitely doesn't help the nerves. You're sitting on a bench behind a tree like some spy. You can see Sunny inside the bookstore as you skulk. She is laughing at something her father has said to a customer. You surmise. Or maybe it's something the customer said. Stop this. Off the point. The point is, what is the point? What if Sunny looks at you and says that? Ducky, what's the point? What if she says, let's just be friends? And that means that she is no longer your friend because there are ways of saying it and other ways of saying it, and you don't like the possibility of the way you think she might say it. You are losing it, definitely. 2 more customers just walked in. Must leap from behind the tree and get back inside to work. So the bookstore is inside the mall, right? That's what I've been picturing this whole time, I assume. The Imperial March is more appropriate for Dawn. The Funeral March is more like it. Later. Is this weird to hang out in your car? To hang out in your car writing in your journal? Or what? At least you're not hanging out on a bench. The grocery store parking lot is not so strange. After all, you could just be writing up a grocery list of cleaning supplies. This is what happened. You hover around the register as Mr. W closes it out. He looks up, smiles. Take off, he says. See you at home, Sonny. Yep, she says, for dinner. She takes your hand and leads you out of the store. You are A, grateful for the guidance, and B, panicked that she is holding your hand. Your hand starts to sweat, also your neck. You follow Sonny to your car. She says, the beach, so you drive to the beach. Sonny doesn't say anything. She fiddles with the sad excuse you call a car, radio. At the beach, you pull into a deserted end of the lot. Sonny gets out. She jumps up onto the hood of your car. You do the same. You both stare out at the ocean. Further up the beach is the surfer's zone. Further down is the family spot, where the waves are gentler. Here it's anything goes. Someone you think a young woman is doing the slow movements of Tai Chi. Two guys. I've always wanted to learn Tai Chi. It just seems like such a relaxational thing. You know? Just like a way to wind down. Two guys are sitting cross-legged playing some kind of board game. A man and a woman with 6 golden retrievers and a Jack Russell Terrier are throwing about 100 tennis balls into the surf for the dogs to retrieve. You decide you identify with one of the tennis balls, smash into the waves, gnash it in a dog's teeth. You take a deep breath to begin to ruin what is left of your relationship with Sonny. She beats you to it. She says, I hate this. I hate it, Ducky. You do? You croak. For a moment, you think she said, I hate you, Ducky, but she hasn't. Not yet. I do, she says. I hate what's happening. I hate the way you look scared whenever I talk to you. I hate the way you stand there, but sort of back up, like with your eyes, detach. Distance yourself. I hate myself for kissing you because I should have known something like this would happen. If I could unkiss you, I would, totally, in a heartbeat. Oh, you say. One of the retrievers has managed to put 3 balls into his mouth. It is trying to pick up a 4th, but so far no luck. I have a retriever mix. Retrievers are truly no brains, just vibes. No thoughts. Not a single thought, just vibes. Sonny elbows you. Your turn, she says. You'd unkiss me, you say? That's not very flattering. Ducky, she says in a warning voice. Yeah, you say. And then words come, more or less. You tell her how completely miserable you've been, that you can't sleep, that it's not her fault, and you're sorry about the scared look, but it wasn't fear of what she would do, it was fear of your own reaction. You believed that if you reacted wrong, you would scorch her feelings and ruin your friendship, and it's the one thing in the whole wide world you couldn't stand. You love Sonny way too much and have for way too long to feel any differently, to feel in love. You don't know why, but it's not there. It's something just as strong, maybe stronger, you say. Some people are meant to be just boyfriend and girlfriend, but others are meant to be best friends. Aw. Best friends, says Sonny, seeming to perk up. Nah. You don't want to be my best friend, you ask, pretending you're hurt. You mean it, she asks. Forever and always, you say. Sonny sighs and leans against you for a minute. You feel comfortable and happy, and you put your arm around her, and you sit there, pondering love and life and golden retrievers and Jack Russells, and then Sonny straightens. Don't get all mushy. Don't get all mush-brained on me. She says, that's probably why I kissed you in the first place. The mush factor of summer. And I thought it was my unique sense of style, you choke back. Sonny rolls her eyes. I'll give you unique, she says. You laugh. You're the one who dreams of personalized bowling shirts, you say. And Sonny laughs. It feels so good. Best friends. It's not the end. We've got a few more pages left. Just a reminder, be nice, and if you don't feel like watching or listening and if it's not interesting to you, you cannot be here. That's fine. Nobody's making you be here. The rest of us are very invested. Truly. This is 15 books of something we've been covering for literal months on this channel. Labs are the himbo of the dog world. That is probably very true. Later. You are no longer hanging out in the parking lot of the grocery store. You actually went in and bought cleaning supplies. However, you no longer feel the need to keep busy in a productive way. You are now watching a bad flick in which a monster from outer space is taking over a movie set. You are debating the difference between science fiction and horror. Is that a real... Are there real movies with that premise? Because I want to watch them immediately. They sound awful and great. You wonder why teachers never give these questions as assignments. Describe your summer vacation in terms of A, a horror movie, or B, a science fiction flick. You would like to point out that summer vacations exist only in the minds of children and teachers. You personally have had far too much work to do this summer, and you don't mean the bookstore. The movie will have a happy ending. The bad guy will get turned into Monster Mash. You are rooting for the monster to go on to become a movie star and then president of the United States, just like Ronald Reagan. I like the direct comparison between a literal movie monster and Ronald Reagan. I know that's not how he meant it. He meant that he was a movie star first and then president, but that's just funny. That's very... Sorry. Anyway, moving on. Does your summer have a happy ending? Hard to say. Not definite. No screen kiss fade to credits. As first kisses go, for example, you are not counting that time in 3rd grade. This was fairly unsuccessful. You will need more lip lock learning later, and not with Sunny. Some things are like that. Some things end, roll the credits, everybody lives happily ever after. You believe this is true even in real life. Sometimes. Occasionally. But you, Duckster, know that you are not John Wayne. You are not that kind of hero, and you don't get that kind of ending. Oh, at least not this time. You're only 16, Ducky. You've got time. You and Sunny have this kind of ending. Your friendship endured. Maybe it will be stronger, better, or maybe not. Meanwhile, you've both just agreed that enough has been said and no more needs to be done. Time to let it go. Time to let it slide. It's like a piece of your backstory. Maybe someday you'll look back and laugh. Or not. Only time will tell. You just have to go with that. September 4th. 9 o'clock a.m. School looms. Like practically tomorrow if you didn't count Sunday. Why wouldn't you count Sunday? Don't get into religion now, Ducky. It makes people uncomfortable. Even more uncomfortable than talking about sex. Oh no. You don't feel comfortable with either subject, so moving right along. Busy, like, you know, busy. Like, let's count Saturday anyway. You know how to feel about Saturday. In just a few hours, you, Ducky, will be the Saturday night party animal. Why, yes, you are having a party at your house with your parents' long-distance permission. When you talked to them, you listened while they discussed the Greek influence of Roman mosaics and the confluence of cultural cross-fertilization. I feel like he should have just done it without his parents' permission at this point. They've been such terrible parents. Frank and Reagan. Welcome back, Ellery. Same. I fell asleep and woke up a few moments later. I felt really tired in the middle of this. I don't blame any of you. Sometimes I'm reading and I feel like I'm reading myself to sleep. Not in like a I'm bored with the book way, just in like a reading calms me down way. Let's see, where was I? We're almost to the end. Just a few more pages. You thought this sounded like either... Wait. Cultural cross-fertilization. You thought this sounded like either sex or gardening, but you had sense enough to keep your mouth shut. You heard the strangled sound Ted made and knew he was trying not to laugh. Then your mother mentioned the possibility that she and your father might try a cooking class vacation. Sounds great, Mom, Ted said in his sincerely your son Ted voice. Mm-hmm. You said, speaking of cooking, Mom, I'm thinking of cooking up a back-to-school get-together for my friends. How nice, said she. What sort of party? Asked your father, not to be fooled by for an instant by soft words and creative segues. Just a few friends, you say? Define a few, your father says. 8 to 12. In fact, if you are able to muster 12 friends, you've got friends you didn't know you had, but you didn't want to explore that with your parents or Ted. That sounds nice, your mother said, heading off further interrogation. You'll be there, won't you, Ted? Count on me, Ted says heartily in that same voice. Am I the only one super pissed that the parents are like, oh, we're gonna go off on a vacation after they've just abandoned their children all this time? Oh. Hi, Perry. I couldn't tell for a second if that was you or the kitty. The baby kitties. Come here, Perry. Come on. Come on, Perry. No, you want to sit under the chair? Is that what you want? Is this an under the chair kind of night? Oh, it's a behind the curtain kind of night. No? What are you doing? There's books all over the floor, and she's incensed. She's like, what have you done with my recording room? These kids' teen books stink. Yeah. Yes, there are parents in this story. You just wouldn't know because most of them leave their children to deal with all their problems on their own. Come on, Perry. Oh. Careful, Perry. You missed a little. Oops, sorry. All right. I thought we could cook out. You let slip before realizing you are venturing into the land of too much information. Your mother says, be careful, wear oven mitts. Your father says, use the fire-starting chimney, not lighter fluid. I know, you say. Then you let him tell you about the dangers of lighter fluid and how people have crisped themselves squirting it into the open flames. Hi, Perry. Then you realize that talking about cooking out has diverted them from their cross-examination mode, and you say, well, maybe we'll just do pizza or something. Relieved, your father says heartily, and sounding disconcertingly Ted-like, well, that's fine. That's just great. You get off the phone before they can think of any more questions and dispense any more advice. You think about reassuring them that you won't burn down the house, but you decide against it. Smart boy, that Ducky. Okay, you haven't written all week. Oh, sure, you can find time to write about all the stuff, the dire complications, the extreme difficulties of your life. Those you chronicle faithfully. After all, that's what your journal is about, isn't it? Problems, previously mostly other people's problems. So is this progress that you have spent days, weeks, hours, hand cramping, aeons worrying about and writing about a problem of your own? To the point of seeming self-centered? Who knows? Ducky, your journal is supposed to be all about you. That's what a journal is. Or maybe you prefer the problems of other people. Is that sick or what? But you can offer other people sympathy or advice or help. With your own life, you realize. You guys can't see Perry. She's perfectly situated, but she is very cozy right now. With your own life, you realize that sympathy is nice. Advice may or may not be useful, depending on the source. And help is not something that necessarily fixes the problem. In the end, you are on your own, as if you didn't know that already. Oh. But enough of this obsession with your problems. Christopher, let's show this journal the fun side of your life, as in the party that will soon start, as in happy ending, or at least a few pretty good moments, you hope. Uh-oh, big crash in the house, better check it out. The story of Ted, your brother, the crash test dummy. Perry, have you had a very long day of important Perry-related incidences? So this is the sitcom moment that meets your eyes as you scope out what caused the minor earthquake somewhere in your house. Your brother is entangled in a bad way with the vacuum cleaner. Also, a chair, some of a small rug, which is in the vacuum cleaner nozzle, and a former vase of flowers. The vacuum is sucking that rug. Ted is kicking at the vacuum. The cord of the vacuum is wrapped around one of the chair legs. Ted, I don't think you should be doing that with the vacuum. Ted, get this off of me! Ducky, but how do you really feel? Ted, I'm warning you, Christopher. Ducky, I feel your pain. Ted. Unprintable expressions of frustration and vacuum rage. So you take pity on the guy, walk over and pull the plug. The vacuum spits out the rug. You unwrap Ted from its embrace. You say, Ted, what were you doing? Ted stands up and glares. Then he rocks your world. He says, well, since you're having a party tonight, I thought I'd maybe clean up a little. You grab the chair, right it, and collapse into it. Ted says, what? You reject jokes as inappropriate. Also, you don't want to discourage Ted. You settle for, okay, what happened? Ted shrugs. I don't know. I was vacuuming, then it got the rug, so I stood on the other end of the rug to hold it down and tried to yank it out. I guess it pulled the rug out from under me. I'm not sure how the chair got knocked over, or the flowers. It could happen to anyone. You are trying so hard not to laugh, and it is killing you. Ted says, yeah, well, thanks for the help. I guess I'll finish up in here and head out. You need anything for tonight? Got it covered, you assure him, but thanks. Anytime, he says. He waits until you leave to plug the vacuum again. He waits until you leave to plug in the vacuum again. You resolve that no matter what happens, you will not go down to the family room again. You hope Ted can't hear you laughing in your room over the sound of the vacuum. Maybe you should do a little cleaning too. Of course, you've been trying to impose order on chaos all week, so the task ahead is not too huge, you hope. Still not done. Almost there. So I get the feeling that the house is haunted. Honestly, it would kind of be on par with this kind of like magical realism thing this series has going on. Hi, Perry. Perry's very comfortable. She's also purring. I know you can't hear her on the thing. A mid-party journal moment. You almost wore The old bowling shirt you wore when you had that unfortunate kiss incident with Sunny, but you decided against it. Too symbolic or something. Sunny is not wearing a bowling shirt either. She still hasn't found one with her name on it. She says she's wearing something even more retro, an old gym shirt. To which Maggie says, yuck. Sunny says, it's clean. The name embroidered over the pocket is Elaine. It has snap buttons and no collar. You like the look even with someone else's name over the pocket. You tell her so. She says, it has shorts to go with it, but I couldn't quite see it. The shirt is better, you agree. Ted is upstairs. Sunny equals Peppermint Patty? Maybe? I just watched a great 2-hour-long video on Peanuts by David J. Bradley, if anybody wants to check that out. It was truly a great video. Four more pages, guys. 4 more. Yes, Perry, 4 more. The shirt is better, you agree. Ted is upstairs with some buds, watching movies in his room. He comes out from time to time. His excuse is a trip to the refrigerator for more stomach supplies, but you realize he is also keeping an eye on the party. Stomach supplies is the funniest way I've ever heard somebody just say snacks, you know? Does he expect it to turn into some kind of major Ted-style blowout? He's in for a disappointment. You made it very clear that you did not want your friends telling everyone about a party in a parent-free house. You like not having your parents around when you throw a party. You do not like being responsible for what would be left of the house after word got out that you were having a party and no adults were around to spoil the fun. Fun like puking in the plants and dancing on tables and driving cars across the lawn and gotta go. Yawns. Later. So it was a good party if you do say so yourself. You ate junk food and played frisbee in the backyard using a glow-in-the-dark frisbee. Amalia and Brendan seem to be getting along better. She no longer moves away when he puts his arm around her. I like Amalia and Brendan. At the same time, you suspect that he's being careful not to be too pushy. It's possible that once Amalia reached for Brendan's hand for a moment, you call a timeout from Frisbee and you go in to make pizzas. Edible Frisbees, Sunny points out. Sunny takes charge, organizes the ingredients, wrapping people in aprons made out of towels and tablecloths. Maggie gets into rolling out the pizza dough on the kitchen table. We're going for the thin crust, she tells everyone. You can taste the flavors better that way. Chef Maggie. Thin crust is my favorite too, Maggie. Chef Maggie, Dawn teases her, and Maggie smiles. Sunny puts you in charge of, quote, vegetables and sharp objects. That means you have to chop up onions and peppers and even the pitted olives. You sit across from Maggie and she talks about her mom a little, how she's in treatment, how the doctors have high hopes, how she and Zeke visited her briefly and how differently she already was. Like she knows she has to do this, Maggie says, like it's important to her. Good, you say. Yeah, Maggie says it is. Then she puts the dough in the pizza pan. Bye, Perry. Well, you brought the dough. Then she puts the dough in the pizza pan. You are a genius. You remembered to buy pizza pans when you bought the dough and starts on another. When the pizzas are done, you pizza out. You go back outside but only Amalia and Brennan have the energy to throw the frisbee around. You sprawl in the grass. Sunny is next to you. She says, I figure we let everybody have ice cream sundaes in about half an hour. At least, Dawn, who is propped up against a tree, groans. I didn't know I could eat so much pizza. How am I going to eat ice cream sundaes? How is it that Dawn manages to be negative about pizza and ice cream? I don't understand. There's a stomach supply store called Stomach Steam. Oh no. Was it her mom? What's there to understand? She's Dawn. True. I shouldn't expect anything different at this point. Was it whose mom? Maggie's mom in rehab? Yes, it's Maggie's mom. Maggie says, with a spoon, and cracks up like a little kid. You hear Sunny laughing, and you turn. In the half dark, she smiles at you. You smile back and relax. You and Sunny are still a team, a good team, in spite of all the drama of the past few weeks. After a while, you make ice cream sundaes. Dawn glances up as Sunny takes charge of that too. She smiles relieved. She's glad you and Sunny are still friends, glad like you that your friendship survived this bad time. You go outside to wave goodnight. When everyone leaves, Sunny gives your hand a squeeze. Not bad, Ducky, just what we needed. Ice cream, pizza, and friends, Maggie adds. Brendan says, here's to it, especially the friends part. Especially, Maggie echoes. And here's to this year and everything amazing that is going to happen, Dawn adds. That too, Amalia agrees. And then they are gone. You stand on the front walk until they are gone. Then you stand there some more. You look up at the stars. If you wish on a star, you'd wish for friends exactly like these. Minus Dawn. You, Christopher, are one lucky duck. The end. We did it, guys. Whoop, sorry, that was probably... I could hear that was loud. We did it, guys. We're done. We read all the California Diaries. We can say that we've covered the entire series, and I don't know how many people can say that. Dawn, you can't run away. You know what that reminds me of, Rex? It reminds me of the, you know, the TikTok sound that's like, you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Hey, don't run from the Lord! I'll get working on the video at some point. I've got a couple other things to do before I can do a 2-hour deep dive, but I will get there. Ellery, you wish that was true. You know we have so many Babysitters Club books. Alright, I'll let you dream. What series is next? So we're still reading things like Goosebumps. God knows we have so many Nancy Drew books to read. More Babysitter's Club. As far as books, and then we have a lot of other offshoot books and, you know, fun nostalgic books to read. Yes, tomorrow it's Morphin time, as we join Jake and friends in a new episode of Animorphs tomorrow at 4 PST, 7 EST, only on Disney Channel. Yes, Ellery. You weren't here when I was showing them off, but thank you for these. These are amazing. Dial-A-Ghost looks so fun. This one is from Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Patrick sent another edition of 4 more Cheetah Girls. Here we go. Deep Wizardry, I'm so excited for because we're going to start reading the first in the So You Want to Be a Wizard series on Saturday. And I'm very, very excited to start the series. I've heard nothing but good things about it. And... Ah! Dang it, my immortal. For those of you who were not here before, and you don't know, My Immortal is this comically bad... Think about it as, like, The Room, but for fan fiction. It's, like, so bad that people love it for how bad it is. And Ellery was absolutely amazing enough to send us a physical copy. So at some point, I'm probably going to make Gabe read this with me. And I'm so excited. Avery's next top wizard. We should have a live stream seance. Who are we going to contact in this live stream seance? I can read tarot cards. I'll sit here and read tarot cards for you guys all night. Looks, I still have to hunt down and send your way. I think I have one. Do I have Bailey Street Kids? No, I think I'm thinking of something slightly different. That sounds familiar, though. I probably read them as a kid. That's probably what I'm thinking of. We have lots and lots of books. If you go onto my Goodreads, that's just dedicated to the books I've covered on this channel. I have over 800 logged, and this is book 90 that we have read, guys. We have read 90 books on this channel. That's not even considering the books, or the TV shows, movies, weird stuff on the web that we've covered. Just as far as reading content goes, 90 books, so good for us. Whoop. I hope you genuinely enjoy the other two. Honestly, Avery covering the new Who series of novels sounds nice. I'm very excited. I genuinely couldn't resist sending you the most cursed fan fiction in physical form once I knew it existed in physical form. I didn't know it existed in physical form either. I truly did not. This is so cursed but so exciting. Bailey School Kids. Okay, Bailey School Kids, I do have one or two. I think Patrick sent me one, and then I found one. Best $8.99 I've ever spent. Thank you, Ellery. I appreciate you. Good night, Paolo. Good night, everybody. It is almost midnight, so I will let you guys go. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on Disney Channel, for the next installment of our read-through of Animorphs with Daniel. So I will see you guys then. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. The past 3 years have been amazing. I can't wait for the next 3, let's say. Can't wait for the future of more stuff. So thank you guys. And thank you for 7,000 subscribers. Like, I really, really appreciate you. Good night. I will see you guys tomorrow.